We're here in regards to our closed session from 6 p.m. We have no actions to report. We're going to call our meeting to order, our regular meeting to order at 7 p.m. Could you just please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Isaiah Aguilar, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, thank you. Take a seat. Monica, could we have roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Present.
Councilmember Moran?
Present.
Councilmember King? Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Present.
Mayor Aguilar?
Present.
For the record, Councilmember King is not in attendance, but his absence is excused.
And I believe he'll be joining us here shortly via phone. And then once again, regarding our closed session, there's no announcements or anything to report. And then council, any changes to the agenda? Seeing none, move on to our next item, which is going to be our oath of office for myself, which I believe Monica will be administering as soon as she's.
Yeah, just one moment, Mayor. Just for the public and those of you who are participating at home and here present, you might see several people here, and primarily in black. We put in a new visual and sound system, and so we're wanting to make sure that we, if there's any bugs, make sure that we address the bugs. So that's what's going on, so that you guys are aware of. So Monica is just went ahead and instituted the phone, because now you don't need to use your phone. Those of us who are here, you can hear us because everything is in zone sections, and so very good quality. So thank you very much, and for your patience.
Hey, Jose, this is Garcia. Did you guys put me absent or no?
No, we're making. Monica is making the note. She'll make a correction right now. So there was a little bit of technical difficulties. No problem.
For the record, Councilmember King is present at 7:02 p.m.
Okay, Mayor.
We'll move along then to our oath of office item. I, Juan Aguilar, Jr., do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. I'm just going to say a few words real quick before we move along. I'll sit down. First of all, I want to just thank everybody that supported me, not only in this past campaign, but in the past 4 years as a council member. I believe we have an excellent council, great staff that will be going to be working as a team to better our community and our city. So please communicate. I want to say this to communicate with us, talk to us, attend meetings, email us, give us phone calls. It's very important that you stay in contact with us. We're going to try to do our best as well. We all have good intentions and want the best for our city. So thank you so much. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute recess to take a couple pictures with my family, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Coming back to our meeting, we'll move on to our next item, which is the City Council reorganization. And then our first item for that section is nomination and election of Mayor Pro Temp. So in regards to this section, our city attorney, is he on the line? Trevor?
I am, Mayor.
How's it going? Is there any way you could give a quick description of what the Mayor Pro Tem kind of responsibilities are, just so the public is aware? Or Jose, the city manager?
Either's fine.
Sure. So the Mayor Pro Tem is a ceremonial position which fills in for the mayor in the absence of the mayor. As it's for the city of Livingston, there is a directly elected mayor. So in the absence of the mayor pro tem fills in in the absence of the actual mayor.
Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate it. In regards to this, I would like to have a discussion and see what, if anybody makes a nomination or volunteers or really, would like to take on this position. It's an important position because, like you mentioned, in the absence of the mayor, they are the acting mayor and can run meetings. So if anybody has any comments or want to start the discussion regarding that item, I would greatly appreciate it in regards to the council.
I'd like to start. So, first off, I understand we do have a Mayor Pro Tem, Raul Garcia. He's been with us for 2 years on council. But I'd like to put this out there as a woman, and this has nothing to do with what's going on publicly out there in media land. But this is in regards to empowerment. So as I sit here behind the dais as a woman, past 2 terms, I've ran as the only woman on the ballot, and we hadn't had another person run for council in over a decade. So again, this is more about putting it out there for empowerment and leadership on behalf of women. So when there's opportunities present, I am thankful for those opportunities, and I want to present it as an opportunity for all of us to step up in our roles out there in the community and take them. So again, I wouldn't be doing women in our community any justice if I didn't speak up on their behalf, sitting on council as I currently am. So again, something to consider, and I would be more than honored if this position were discussed on behalf of women and what we bring to the city of Livingston and what we are all capable of leading our town in a manner that will bring us forth and in positions of more, bringing us forth with more power behind us. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Anybody else in the council would like to talk about this item, discuss this item?
Actually, I do have a question. What would happen in the case when the mayor and the mayor pro tem are absent?
I believe, and there's been some times where in this past year where the mayor pro tem wasn't able. The mayor was gone. The mayor pro tem wasn't able to attend, and as long as there's a quorum of 3 members, we still have a meeting. And I think that's when I ran the meeting. So another council member would be running the meeting if it's deemed, consideration regarding if the meeting needs to go on with the 3 members.
Right.
So it'll be just another council member running it.
Being selected by the mayor or the mayor pro tem, who will select which council to ask?
I believe at that time it was the person that the mayor reached out or the mayor pro tem reached out to, and that was going to be able to attend. For example, in person and run the meeting. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Anybody else regarding this item? Any other council member? Is Councilmember Kang, you're there on the line?
Yes.
Anything to discuss?
Are we ready to nominate somebody right now, or no?
We're discussing it. I'm just going to say a few words, and then if anybody wants to nominate, go ahead, okay? In regards to, for me, I think Mayor Pro Tem Garcia has done a great job. I don't want it to be like in the past where it's politically a decision in regards to alliances and who ran with who and all that stuff. I want it to be fair. I want it to be somebody that's been here, has the experience, has the knowledge, has been exposed, and not only in the council, but in other meetings and other committees. So to me, that's important, that we're fair and we acknowledge that. So that's all I wanted to say. If anybody wants to nominate anybody, now's the time.
Yes, this is Garcia. I would like to nominate Raul Garcia for the Mayor Pro Tem.
We have a nomination by Councilmember Kang for Raul Garcia as the Mayor Pro Tem. Do we have a second? I'm going to go ahead and second that. Monica?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
What was the vote count? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I believe we're having some technical difficulties there. Councilmember Kang?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the vote count. What was that?
It was 3-1, and we didn't get your vote.
Yeah, so it's a yes for me.
Thank you. Monica was a yes for Councilmember Kang.
I'm sorry?
It was a
I
yes.
didn't
Do you
hear
want
it
me
when
to
she called my
retake roll
name.
call?
Yes, please, just so we could include him on the record.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
No.
Councilmember Kang?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-1.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to now item number 3, which is the discussion and city council appointments to city boards, commissions, and committees. The first committee that we'll discuss and appoint representatives is the Merced County Association of Governments, which I was the representative this past 2 years, and the Mayor Pro Tem Garcia was the alternate representative. In regards to this, since I was the appointed representative, this committee is comprised of the Board of Supervisors and a member from each of the incorporated cities in the county of Merced. One of the things they do is they do a advocacy trip to DC. They also are, in regards to the bus, they also do, it's a managing board regarding the bus, the transportation, public transportation, the bus. There's, meetings once a month. There's in regards to Measure V funding, it's also part of the board runs that and discusses and appoints or deciphers the funds, where they need to go, what city, what jurisdiction. So it's a very important board. It's very important that we have representation. Historically, in the past, we haven't had a good representation. I think that changed a few years ago. So we need to continue making sure we're having somebody there from the city. Anybody want to start a discussion or want to appoint anybody? Go ahead, please, council.
If I may.
Go ahead, Jose.
I think that one of my main points, once we start selecting one of us to represent in the different committees, I think it is very important to realize that what being or participating in these different committees, what kind of responsibilities we have as being the representative of the city of Livingston within those different committees. So whoever and whenever we get or anybody else is elected to represent us in those committees, it is very important to actually be present and not take on responsibilities that we won't be able to fulfill. We need to understand at what time those meetings are, how often, and take our responsibilities with great responsibility. So that would be the only thing that I do want to encourage all of us to really think about when we volunteer or when we nominate others to take on those responsibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Seth, for that. Absolutely, I agree with you. I think it's important that I think like every committee or every place we go to and represent the city is very important, especially these committees where it involves, funding or different opportunities for the city to take advantage. It's important. In regards to, I had asked our city manager, and I'll thank him for giving us the days and times of these committees, because it's important that we know when they're gonna be. So if we're gonna commit, we know when the meetings are gonna be. For MCAG, it's the third Thursday of the month at 3 p.m. That's when the meetings are. Anything else, council, regarding that item? What's that?
On the third Thursday of the month for LAFCO at 10 a.m.
Any nominations or any? No.
Is that,
Any other discussion?
hey, Mayor, this is Joaquin again. Do you wish to stay on the committee?
What was that, Council King? Councilmember King?
I said, do you wish to still stay on that committee?
Yeah, absolutely. If I would like to continue as a representative, if given the opportunity, obviously from council. I think I've established
Yes,
good
well,
rapport.
then I would like to nominate you.
Maria, real quick, you had something to add?
I thought we were still discussing, but
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to know if we can just get a rundown of all of the these positions here, dates and times. That way we can, before someone nominates us, we already know how to respond to it and the availability, because again, it's not about convenience.
Yeah, I believe we could go through them real quick. I know the city manager just mentioned LAFCOs. We want to mention it one more time?
Yeah, so let me just run through down. So what we have before you, item A, the MCAG is the third Thursday, okay, and our current representatives is our new mayor and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Then you have the local agency formation. The local agency formation basically deals with annexation of property and also de-annexation and issues related to water related to that. And they meet the third Thursday at 10 a.m. The Central Valley Division League of California Cities, that basically, a current council member, Baptista, is part of that, and Mayor Pro Tem. And that's basically takes place as needed, and they come up with different division meetings, and sometimes they have them local, and sometimes they have them in Turlock and other places. The Mosquito, the Merced County Mosquito Abatement District Board of Directors, Councilmember King currently is our representative, and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia is our alternate. I don't know off the top of my hand when do they meet. Can you share, Councilmember?
They meet the third Tuesday at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Then we have the Special City Select Committee of the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District, and our current member on there is our Councilmember Soto. And let's see what we got. Then we have the Livingston Planning Commission. That takes place the second Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then lastly, the Parks and Recreation Art Commission is the fourth Thursday at 6 p.m.
And just real quick, I know we have another commission, the Traffic Commission, and that's something I actually would like to add to, or consider in regards to appointing somebody as from the council as a liaison.
Yeah, we have two ad hoc commissions. So one is the traffic, and the other one is also the utility stakeholders.
That's correct. Yeah. And I believe myself and Mayor Pro Tem were the representatives at the utility stakeholders.
Yes.
But I don't believe there was anybody assigned to the Traffic Commission, correct?
It's all.
Committee.
It's primarily all staff and community.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And so we'll continue on item A. Councilmember Kang, you want to voice again or appoint or nominate again, please?
Yes, I nominate the mayor, Juan Aguilar.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
So we have a nomination by Councilmember Kang and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Monica?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you, guys. Now we're going to discuss the alternate representative. And then in regards to the alternate, they also could attend the meetings, even if the main representative is there, or in case the main rep can go, the alternate will be there presently. Any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Councilmember Soto.
We have a... is it Soto?
I'm sorry, what was that?
We have a nomination by Mayor Pro Tem for Councilmember Soto.
Yes, I'll second it.
We have a second by Councilmember Kang. Monica?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes.
For how long are these terms? Are they 1 year, 2 years, or?
There's a reorganization that takes place the first meeting of the year. So next year at this time, council take up all this again.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move along to our item number 3B, which is the Merced County Local Agency Formation Commission, or otherwise known as LAFCO. Our current representative there was our previous mayor. Do you have a nomination or discussion regarding this item? Jose, you want to talk about this commission real quick, a little bit? Just deep.
Sure. Again, the Local Agency Formation Commission deals with annexation of properties. It also deals with the de-annexing of water, because there's, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. There's water rights that come with property. And so they detach themselves from the local irrigation district. So it primarily looks at the annexation of property. And so it's a very important commission. And again, they meet the third Thursday, the third Thursday at 10 o'clock.
So this is a morning meeting, which is important. I know some of us work, and making sure that we have a representative there on a regular basis. Anybody want to have any questions, want to discuss it, or have nominations, council? I'll go down the council members. Jose, any questions or comments?
No questions at this time.
Councilmember King, are you there?
Yeah, You want me to go ahead and nominate somebody for this one also?
Let me just go through everybody, make sure, and if anybody has any questions real quick. Councilmember.
I have no questions.
No, okay. Councilmember Soto.
I don't have any questions.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Negative.
Go ahead, Councilmember Kang.
I'll nominate Vice Mayor for this one, Garcia.
You have a nomination by Councilmember Kang for Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Maria Soto, council member. Monica, roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
No.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4-1.
Thank you, Monica. In regards to this, Jose, I don't know, you might know this, but so it's just one representative, is no alternate required or needed, or that's the only one, correct? Okay. All right, we're moving along to
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
What happens if there's something in place? What happens if whoever is represented to or selected to this different committees, and they missed so many meetings to where we don't have representation? What happens? Is there something in place where that can be brought up back to council again?
Yes,
'Cause
absolutely.
otherwise, if we don't have the representation, the city will be losing.
Yeah, absolutely. If it becomes a concern and we don't have appropriate representation in these committees, it becomes a problem, and we're losing, and it's not it's not good for the city, our citizens, our residents, and our staff. We'll definitely bring it back to council, and definitely address it and discuss it, but also I would encourage our council that gets appointed to also speak, let us know and have good communication. If something happens, they're unable to attend, and the emergency or their job situation changes, come forth, and so we could discuss it and appoint somebody else, even if it's temporary, if they're, out, vacation, whatever the case may be. And I think we're, all responsible. In the past 4 years, I know we've communicated well, where, for example, somebody's gonna go on vacation or something, emergency happens. Hey, could you back me up? Could you go show up at this committee? Jose has done the same. We communicated well. Hey, there's this commission meeting. Somebody needs to be there. Can you make it? And so I think we're all responsible, and let's work together and collaborate. And if we're unable to attend these meetings, that you're really hurting the city, and let's talk to each other to make sure there's somebody there and representing the city, okay?
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're moving on to item C, which is the Central Valley Division League of California Cities, or the league. There was our representative was our Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and then the alternate was Councilmember Soto. Anybody questions, discussions? Anybody want to talk regarding this, the league, in regards to what they do, and one of the alternate or representative?
I do have a couple of questions, if I may.
Go ahead, Jose.
Thank you. One of them is, normally those meetings are there in the morning, in the afternoon, on the weekends.
I know.
I believe they're as needed.
As needed?
As needed.
There's no, it could be in the morning or in the afternoon.
Yes. They'll send you an email and whatnot before.
And obviously, I think with the whole COVID situation that, things have changed. And I believe because of, obviously they don't want to do any in-person meetings. They used to have quarterly meetings a couple of years ago. And obviously now they do a lot of online web seminars, trainings, stuff like that. So a lot of web-based. But obviously they have their annual and semi-annual conferences. Obviously, not this past year. It was more of a web-based kind of thing. But in regards of those conferences, the whole council could attend, and it's it's beneficial. Usually in Sacramento or down south, and they also have training opportunities for new members, new council members, and stuff like that. So yeah, you're right, Mayor Pro Tem. It's really at this point, it's whenever they email for those opportunities for those meetings. Any other questions? Any nominations or anybody want to volunteer?
I'll nominate Councilmember Soto.
We have a nomination by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia for Councilmember Soto for the league. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Second by Kang. Roll call, Monica?
Roll call, Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you, Monica. We'll move along to our item 3D, which is the Merced County Mosquito Abatement District Board of Directors. Oh, sorry, we need an alternate for the league. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Anybody volunteer or nomination?
I will volunteer myself as an alternate.
Okay, so I'll nominate you as the alternate for the California League of Cities. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Go ahead.
We have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Roll call, Monica.
Roll call, Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you, Monica. Now we're really going to move on to 3D, which is the Mosquito Abatement District Board of Directors. Currently, our representative there is Councilmember Kang, and our alternate is Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Any nominations, questions? Go ahead, Council.
I'd like to nominate who's on the Kang, Councilmember Kang.
Any, just real quick before that, anybody has any questions? I know Councilmember King did a good job representing us there. Nobody has questions? Okay. So we have a nomination by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Soto. Monica?
Roll call, Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Now, thank you, Monica. Now we'll do a alternate for the mosquito abatement. Any nominations, questions, volunteers?
I'll go ahead and nominate Councilmember Moran.
We have a nomination by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia for Councilmember Moran. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Soto.
Roll call, Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you, Monica. Now we'll move on to item 3E, which is the Special City Selection Committee of the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control Board. Our representative was Councilmember Soto, and our alternate was, we didn't have a designated alternate. Do we have a discussion, questions? Councilmember Soto, do you want to just say what were these meetings, what does it consist of, this committee? Or Jose? Or wants to just talk about it a little bit?
More than happy to address it. So the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District, as the name alludes, basically tackles all kinds of issues to meet the PM guidelines in the Central Valley. So we want to keep the 2.5 particulate matter out of the air, and so all the regulations in this air basin of the 8 counties get together and basically make decisions that to try to meet those standards, and also approve different types of grants and things of that nature. So.
Thank you, Jose. Any discussion, questions, council? Any volunteers or nominations?
I like.
If it's okay with the council, I'd like to remain on.
We have a volunteer, we have a nomination.
I nominate Ms. Soto.
We have a nomination by Councilmember Moran for Councilmember Soto. We have a second? I'll second that. Monica, I'll second it.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you, Monica. Now we're going to discuss an alternate for the...
You don't need one.
You don't need one either? Okay. Thank you. Then let's move on to 3F, which is the Livingston Planning Commission. And currently we had Councilmember King as a representative. Any questions or nominations?
I'll nominate Councilmember Soto. Right.
I can do.
Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia nominates Councilmember Soto. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to item number 3G, which is a liaison to the Park, Recreation, and Arts Commission, which I was the liaison this past few years. Just real quick, obviously this is recreation is very close to me, and big advocate regarding recreation in our city and for our children. I was one of the members that called for the creation of the commission, and all the commissioners have done a great job. So whoever takes on this role, continue going to the meetings and continue being a support system for them, please. Any questions or nominations? I do want to make a nomination. I know Jose Moran has been working closely with them. He's been the teen advisor, and he's been attending meetings regularly. So I would like to nominate him as the liaison for the Parks and Arts Commission. Do we have a second?
Can I second that? Is that possible?
I think you can.
Okay.
So we have a nomination by myself and a second by Jose Moran. Will we get roll call?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
No.
Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
No.
And Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 3-2.
Thank you, everybody. And just once again, it's I want to stress the importance of us attending those meetings, and not only attending, but also communicating back during our council meetings of what's going on in those committees, and just keep our public and our staff and ourselves informed of what's going on. It's very important that we report back. Obviously, we're not expecting a full-on PowerPoint presentation and with spreadsheet and all of that, but at least just something to touch bases and inform us. Okay.
Well, we have one more committee, Mayor,
yes.
which is the utility stakeholders.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
And typically, it's 2 council members that partake in that.
That is correct, and I believe, like I mentioned earlier, myself and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia were the representatives there, or liaisons there. You want to talk a little bit what that commission is, or that committee?
I would be honored to do that. So basically, this committee was formed back in 2011, and basically, it invites different members of the community, whether it's small business or big business. And you have representatives from the council and then just staff and groups in general that participate. And by the way, everybody's invited to come to these meetings, but as far as like voting members and things of that nature, it's an ad hoc committee that is put together. And basically, all we talk about is anything that directly impacts the utilities that we have in town. That means, water, sewer, garbage, electricity, whether we're doing solar projects, anything related to utilities. So these meetings are as needed basis, and so they're at different times, different dates, and we typically meet in this facility. It's a very important one.
Thank you, Jose. Do we have any discussion, any nominations, questions regarding this this very important committee?
I do have a question. Are these meetings normally, well, you did mention they're as needed. Are they normally?
In the evening.
In the evening?
Yeah, they're in the evening, and for the most part, they start at 6 o'clock, and they're in the evening. We've never had a meeting in the day or early in the morning. Typically, just so that the public could have access to it, we typically do it, at 6 o'clock. And the meetings usually only take about an hour. Once in a while, they can take 2 hours.
All right, thank you. This is something that I would definitely, I have attended some meetings before, something that I would definitely be interested to continue participating if I do have the option to continue serving in another way. Thank you.
Absolutely. If you're interested, and I know you attended these meetings, we'll go ahead and, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, but I'll go ahead and nominate you as one of the representatives.
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. We'll get roll call.
Roll call, Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, we need another representative. I also been involved in this committee, and I would like to also continue to work if possible, if the council so wishes.
Nominate the mayor.
I'll second that.
We have a nomination by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia and a second by Councilmember Moran.
Roll call. Roll call, Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Councilmember Moran,
Yes.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you. And then in regards to the traffic committee, I don't know if you want to appoint somebody or you just want to leave it as is. I know
Any council member can partake
Okay.
and can participate in because again, staff are the ones that will be taking on the subject matter and with those who were appointed by the council. And so you're welcome to partake.
Awesome.
Just that, partake.
Perfect, thank you. Just a very important, please, Jose, if you could send out the schedule of the meetings or when the meetings are going to take place, so those interested in the council to attend are able to, and because I think it is a very important committee regarding our different traffic issues around town and how to address those. So it's important for us to hear, as it's comprised by our residents, so it's important for us to hear them firsthand, and hopefully we get some attendance for our council. So thank you. Now we're moving along to our announcements and reports. The Supervisor Rodrigo Espinosa on the line. I don't see him here present, but are you on the line, Supervisor? Okay, seems like he is not. We're gonna move along to our city staff announcement and reports, but first I wanna know who's on the line from regards to our city staff. Can you please say your name and your department, if there's anybody?
Jackie, Recreation.
Hello, Jackie. Anybody else?
Trevor Taniguchi, City Attorney's Office.
Anybody else? Thank you. Okay. And Jose, you want to introduce the staff that are here presently?
Yes, we also have here presently, we have Happy Baines from our finance department, our finance director, Vanessa Portillo, and then we have Anthony Chevrier, who's also here for Public Works. We have Randy Hatch, who represents our planning department, Chief Soria, of course, the police department, and Monica, who's our executive secretary, deputy city clerk.
Thank you, Jose. We will start off with our staff on the line. Jackie, you have anything to report today or any announcements?
Yes, I sure do. Thank you, Mayor. Well, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. And I actually have quite a few things, so I'm just going to make them bullet points. But even though we don't have a lot of sports or anything going on, we still have a lot of activity with our residents. So I wanted to thank the number of people that participated in the Court of Trees. It was our biggest and best ever. And I just thank you, Council, for your support. We couldn't have done it without the Lions Club. I really look forward to having more partnerships with them. They're a great bunch of people to work with. Our Recreation Commission is working on all of our park master plans, so we're hoping to be ready when we have a joint visions workshop with you guys, and we'll be able to plan fundraising stuff around what our park master plans will have in them. I do want to let you know that we received a $2,000 grant from DOT Transportation. We're super excited about that, as with this COVID, the Rec Commission, we haven't been able to do a lot of fundraising. And so we're going to be able to purchase more equipment for our special events with that $2,000. So we're pretty excited about that. We're also working on the Centennial. Hopefully, within the next week or so, we'll be sending out an invite to everyone about our Centennial celebration. We will be starting a fundraiser, which will entail selling discount cards to the community. And many of our merchant and towns have been eagerly participating in that. So we'll be hitting everyone up soon. Also, I do need a little bit of direction. Eva Garibay turned in her resignation for the Recreation Commission. She just has a ton of things going on, but we can count on her support for any programs or special events that we need her. But a lot of her activities with her job occur in the evening when we have our meetings. So I will need direction from the council as to filling that position. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate it. I do want to say, good job, and thank you for everything you do in regards to recreation, and Happy New Year. And thank you so much for decorating the trees, my trees. Obviously, I don't know if some of you know or don't know, but I was very ill during the month of December. So, Jackie, thank you. I appreciate you and Tony and everybody that helped out. We're very thankful, okay? In regards to...
Thank you. We're happy to do it.
So, in regards to direction, I guess...
We do have an item 8 on the agenda for that.
For that, okay, perfect. So thank you, Jackie, for everything. Council, any questions for Jackie?
I just want to make a comment. Jackie, and to the entire rec department and to the Lions Club, I just want to say, and once again, reiterate how great of a job you guys did. Teamwork, that's what it's all about. In contacting or just talking with other members from other communities around the Central Valley, they were very surprised, and they were looking at all the work that you guys did to be able to do it and replicate it in their own communities. So what was done this year is actually going to be a role model for other communities in the Central Valley and possibly in Southern California. So probably expect phone calls and other communities to reach out for guidance on how they can do the same thing that the city of Livingston accomplished here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Councilmember King, you want any questions for Jackie? Councilmember Soto, any questions or comments?
No, I'm just really appreciative of the way that the Parks and Recs and Arts Commission is moving forward and continuing to look outside of our conditions and keep going and keeping everything moving forward so that our community has events to look forward to. Our youth has equipment when they come out. So I'm really excited to have everything come back out, and what you're doing now is exciting. So I look forward to a great year, and coming out with the 100th year is going to be really exciting. So I can't wait to hear what's going on with that. Thank you, Jackie.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, any questions, comments?
I'd just like to say thank you for all your hard work during this last couple months, during this time. Thank you.
And just a real
Thank
quick
you,
question.
Raul.
Oh, I'm sorry. A real quick question. Jose, the applications for the Rec Commission, the ones that because I know we just did that in August. How long are those good? Are they still standing? Do we keep those on file? Just a question, that way we know.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
No,
Oh, for
our city manager.
As it relates to the applicants for the Parks and Recreation, we do have a discussion item, which is item 8, as we get further in the agenda. But we do keep all of the applicants and all the information on file. So we just have to read.
I believe it's for the Planning Commission, the item for today.
But I was inquiring about the recreation.
The recreation. Yeah.
Yes, for the recreation, and Jackie can certainly jump in, we also keep the applicants. So if you want us to reach out to folks who have submitted applications in the past to see if they're interested, we can do that. And then, of course, we can certainly advertise for, vacancies. And we typically do those within, a month and a half. And it all depends on how many applicants that we receive. If not, we open it up a little further until we get sufficient applicants, or we start appointing.
Thank you, Jose. Yeah,
That's correct, Jose. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody on file because through the time, everybody that has applied has actually been appointed. So we would need to reach out to the community for this position.
Sounds good. Yes, just for clarification purposes, item 8 is for the Planning Commission. Jackie, you're looking for this direction today, or do we have to put it on the agenda and to discuss it further in the next meeting or so? So I think we're receiving. So I guess we could bring it back for the next meeting and give you direction and have a discussion, so it could be on the actual agenda. Trevor, is that correct?
That's correct, Mayor.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Jackie.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. And then anybody else on the line making a comment or announcement? I believe Trevor has.
Mayor, this is Trevor from the City Attorney's Office. I just want to let council know that we are still planning to hold trainings for council regarding updates to the Brown Act, as well as ethics training, which will help all council members be in compliance with their AB 1234 training for the year. So look forward to that from our office. And if anyone has any questions or requests pertaining to the training, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Jose Sanchez.
Thank you, Trevor. Any council, Jose, Moran, any questions for our attorney?
No. Not at this time.
Councilmember King? Councilmember Soto? Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Negative.
For me, real quick, thank you for, it's very important, especially when there's new council members elected and there's new, the year begins. It's important that we take on those workshops and just in general, it's important that we take on those training opportunities. So I appreciate you guys working on that, and let's get them done as soon as possible, please, Trevor. I know you guys are working on that, with Jose Sanchez as well. So thank you, I appreciate it. Now, staff here present, and anybody has a presentation or announcements? Anthony, I'll see you.
Yeah, that's good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening, Your Honorable Mayor, council members, members of the public. Anthony Chavarria, Public Works. I'm here this evening to present our Public Works monthly report. I do have some older pictures in here. Just bear with me, won't take too long. First slide is of our Joseph Gallo Park solar array. I did want to let council know where the solar structures will be located. You can see that's well 13. So we'll have a solar structure here and along the walk path. Now, I did want to remind council that these will be raised structures that have a canopy over the top that will provide shade. Another location where the raised solar canopy array will be located is at the Police Department City Hall parking lot. Again, this will be a raised structure providing shade. Another location will be at Max Foster Sports Complex, a smaller one in the parking lot. This is pretty much what the solar array structures will look like. So it'll be similar to the one going up at Max Foster parking lot. This one will be similar to the one at Joseph Gallo along the walk path. Our Welcome to Livingston sign, refurbished sign. Starting from left in the picture, we have Lowry Beckman, who was the original creator of the sign. Our very own Councilmember Soto, Lion Kin Nolan, Lion President Douglas Wells, and Lion Dennis Nolan. So the B. and Witten Parkway Welcome to Livingston Area Refurbishment was a joint activity including service clubs and members of the Livingston community. The sign work was completed by the Livingston Lions Club. The VFW Post 8327 and auxiliary received donations from the community to include the tribute to our veterans, including the 5 service flags and the USA POW flags as a centerpiece. I got a better picture in the next one. This picture is of Campbell Boulevard Measure V project. What we did here, we did remove some of the dips, low spots, repaired some of the asphalt in the street there in front of Foster Farms. It was like a launching point right in front of that area there. We did repair that area. Staff did some crack sealing, cleaned out the storm inlets on Campbell. We'll be performing a little bit of work every year. Slurry seal project, this did already take place. This was a great project. I did shoot a quick video. I did want to share with the public and council what took place and how this got applied. Monica, if you can press play, please. So first of all, we had to prep the street by providing crack sealing. The large cracks were cut out and repaired with hot mix. And then we're able to apply the slurry seal. And this slurry seal is a mixture of oil, sand, really small gravel. And what it does is put a protective layer on our streets that prolongs the life expectancy. Kind of smooths it out a little bit as well. It's another Measure V project on Cedar Court. Staff, again, over here cut out the large cracked areas in that cul-de-sac and made the repairs with the hot mix. A bit of park maintenance. Install some new COVID-19 safety warning signs in our parks. Here we installed a new light pole at Don Myers Park. We did have some residents voice some concerns over at that subdivision with people parking in that area of the park because it was really poorly lit and dark. And we did install new lights there. Did talk to the residents there the other night, and they're very pleased and thankful for this project. Well, 14 and 16 TCP Expansion Project, some before and after pictures. You can see some underground work with the piping, forming for a backwash tank installation or a concrete pad. And here's the finished backwash tank. Before and after pictures for our GAC vessel installation. You see before they started with the forms, poured the pad, installed the vessels, and started with all the piping. We're looking to finish that project April of this year. Into my presentation. Be happy to answer any questions if council has any or the public has any.
Thank you, Anthony. Councilmember Jose Moran, any questions, comments?
No questions, no comments.
Councilmember Kang, any questions, comments?
Nope, I have no questions.
Councilmember Soto, questions, comments?
As for your solar panels, along with the installation, who's going to be responsible for the maintenance and the upkeep and cleaning?
On the solar panels?
Yes.
That's a PPA, so I believe Jose is the contractor is going to be responsible for the upkeep.
Yeah, that is correct. Basically, there's this whole PPA requires them to monitor the savings that was promised, and so it would be to their advantage to make sure that they maintain the highest possible output of solar generation. So the answer is yes, they're responsible, and two, it's to their if they do not maintain them, they won't meet the goals set out in the contract, and so then they would have to pay out of their own pocket.
I think that's it's obviously part of the bigger project and utility cost savings efforts we worked on in the past several years. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Negative, I'm good.
For me, just, thank all your guys and everybody, all your staff in regards to the hard work you guys do every day. I appreciate all the work you guys do, especially during these difficult times. So thank you for everything. And obviously, you could reach out to the new council and myself and have any questions or anything like that, you could always reach out. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Any other staff, any announcements, reports? We have our chief, Soria, Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the public. Happy New... Can you hear me? Okay. Well, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope this new year brings a lot better than in the safety arena than last year. But some of the things, just so real quick, what you know that we can try to better service the community is hopefully within the next month, I will be bringing on a couple new officers to help try to alleviate that and combat the issues that we've had in the past, this last 2020 year. So hopefully we can make it somewhat a little bit more safer than some of the things that we've had this last year. Also, you had mentioned the traffic committee. I'll be reaching out to Jose, who I guess could disseminate the times that we're actually going to have it. And I'm actually looking at having one the end of February or middle of February. I've gotten a lot of interest in people. We just had one, I believe it was in November. But I got a lot of interest from a lot of people that want to attend these meetings. So I will be reaching out, definitely give you plenty of time to actually do whatever you got to do. And with that, that was really all I had. Other than that, we are still doing everything we can to, again, like I said, better serve the public. We have training scheduled at the beginning or actually the latter part of January to better have our officers, learn more to better serve the public. We're going to continue to reach out to the public in every way we can through social media, through knocking on doors, everything we can. And again, like I said, I have an open door policy. If anybody needs anything, please feel free to give me a call. My number is out there. Actually, I don't have a problem with people knowing my cell phone number. It's 564-7332. Give me a call. And people do call me. I didn't hear a bad thing about New Year's Eve. I don't know how bad it was, but I did hear that it wasn't as bad as it normally is. So hopefully things are getting a little better, and maybe that's something that's going in a positive way for the 2021 year. So again, if any of you need anything, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I'm always there for each and every one of you. Unless you have any questions, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Councilmember
Yes.
Jose, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, a couple of things. Well, first of all, Happy New Year. And thank you for everything you guys have been doing lately. I do have a couple of questions. You did mention 2 new officers. Are they going to be full-time, part-time?
One's going to be full-time, one's going to be part-time. We do have the positions that the council approved I believe within the last few months, the 2 paid reserves. Right now I'm looking at 2 individuals, but hopefully within the next month I will start the process from what we've done so far.
Okay. And earlier, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, I saw some advertising about or asking for volunteers for a volunteer program. Is there an update on that? Volunteer for people in the community?
Yeah, we are always taking applications for volunteers. They can actually it's basically the first, it's the initial volunteer that you find on the website, at the city website, and you give it to Sergeant Vong.
Okay.
And then they go through a short process. It's not obviously as extensive as an officer or a full-time employee. However, we do dig into their history, because they're obviously going to kind of somewhat have access to some sensitive equipment and data. But we're always taking them. And we're going to probably, because of all the COVID stuff, we were kind of like holding back on that because a lot of the individuals we have now are older. Mm-hmm. So those individuals have not come out. But we are taking applications right now.
We don't have any volunteers on the books yet?
We have 3.
3,
yes.
Okay. All right. And this one is just a comment or a question, maybe for the future, something to consider. I will be really interested to kind of more of an informational also for the public to eventually have the animal control officer maybe do a presentation on everything they do, the services and stuff like that. I think it's very vital for the rest of the community to really. I mean, I know everything that she does, but I think it will be a great opportunity to have the rest of the community find out of everything that she's able to do within the city. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Jose. Councilmember King, any questions, comments?
Nope, I have no questions.
Councilmember Soto, questions, comments?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Negative.
In regards to myself, Happy New Year. Just to inform the public, I did have a meeting with our police chief and our city manager earlier today. So it's it's important to touch bases as the mayor of the city and have that cooperation and collaboration with the different department heads, which I'll be meeting with in the next few weeks. So I appreciate your willingness to be open for our public, for to talk to them and giving out your phone number and reaching out for anybody who has any questions, concerns. So I really appreciate that. It's important that we do some community-based policing out there, and I appreciate you working towards that in collaboration with the officers and your leadership team and our city manager. So I appreciate that. In regards to just real quick, if you could really just talk about the things you guys been doing to address some of the concerns out there in regards to the shootings and stuff like that. Are you guys continually working to address that? And what kind of things have you guys done, just so the public is aware?
We definitely always work on any type of the violent crime that happens here in the city, and I have since pulled back the task force agent from the task force that they were assigned to. They're actually back on patrol because we're kind of down somewhat. But they do work on a part-time basis in detectives. As soon as we get back up to staff, I want to have 2 full-time detectives to help get into those type of issues, so we're on them 24/7. We've actually cleared some of them. I can't really get into because we have not actually arrested the individuals, but we are close to actually solving a few of those shootings. Again, I don't have a problem if I see where I have the need. I need down on the boots, down on the street. I need more officers. I will call other agencies to help us out. Have you seen where we've had Merced, the Sheriff's Department, probation, and I'll continue to do that. If we have issues, we're going to continue to do more saturation. I still want to get out there and try to get the public a little bit more involved. We're kind of holding back right now with the door-to-door, but we are going to start going, when the weather gets a little bit better, we are going to start going back out because I really want to still reach out to the public and not stop that and get them more involved. I know it's really hard for them too, because sometimes they feel that they may be retaliated against, but the biggest thing, and like I've always said, is communication. If everybody actually saw or told us what they saw, boy, we could probably be solving a lot of these crimes. It's kind of like, for instance, we had the shooting the other day. It wasn't gang related or anything like that. However, everybody saw this individual, but nobody saw this individual. And that's the kind of things that we run up against, and that it kind of defeats us somewhat because we know they know. However, we got to keep trying, and we got to keep trying to see if we could build that trust to where they can come to us and we can get that information from them, that the things that they see out here on a daily basis. So we're going to continue to do those things.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. In regards to New Year's, I don't know if the public wants to share what you guys thought about, in regards to New Year's, how it was. Anybody want to comment or say anything to the chief about your thoughts or council? I know I've seen on social media that there was a shooting and fireworks and stuff like that. I don't know.
It still happened, yes, but I was told by a few people that it wasn't as bad as it has been in the past.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anything else, anybody? No? Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay. Any other staff member? We have Vanessa coming up from Finance.
Good evening, Vanessa Portillo, Finance Department. I don't have any items to report, but I did wanted to wish every one of you a Happy New Year, and also to share that I look forward working with all of you to make Livingston a great community for all of our residents. So I'm very excited to work with all of you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate it. Happy New Year. Council, Jose, any questions or comments?
Happy New Year and thank you.
Any other council member? Councilmember Kang, the phone, questions, comments? Councilmember Soto? Mayor Pro Tem? Okay, same thing with me, just Happy New Year. Thank you, appreciate it, and hopefully definitely work together for our community. Any other staff member reports, announcements?
No.
No? Okay. So let's move on to City Manager announcement and reports. Jose?
Yes, our mayor and council and public, thank you. Happy New Year to everyone as well. First, council, I just want to communicate out that we are looking at having a visioning and goal-setting workshop very soon so that the public and the council as a whole and staff can come together and try to prioritize a number of different items that are of importance and other things that you might think might need to be on the radar so that we can, work towards those goals. So, but one of the things that so the date and time, we'll be reaching out to you to see what date and time will work. So it'll be a special workshop for that. And again, the public is invited and you guys can partake. I did want to, Monica, if you can click on that PDF. COVID, we were very cognizant of everything that's going on. We know about the new variant that's happening. And so we want to make sure what we've been doing, Mayor and Council, is continuing to use our social media platforms and other methods to keep the public aware of the issue. Okay, no problem. And so what we want to make sure is that our public is continuing to be educated that, about COVID. And so you'll see different communications coming out in different formats. Now, there is and those of you who are interested, we do have the guidelines that the county has in place for vaccination. There's 4 phases, okay? And depending on where you fall in those 4 phases, that's when you, can get your vaccination. If you have any questions related to that, feel free to call City Hall. We have the form. The other thing you can do is you can certainly contact your local physician, your primary physician, and they'll be able to tell you kind of where you fit in the different category. Because there's different guidelines based on your age, if you have any health issues, and of course, what line of work, et cetera, that you do. So I provided the council a preliminary list of important items that we need to look at going into 2021 and beyond. So some of those items, I won't go through them completely, but I'll just kind of touch on them. One of the first items that we need to look at is our utility rates going into 2021. And very shortly, in 2022, we also our 10-year contract that we had for solid waste, that's going to be up. So we're going to have to look at sending out an RFP. And for those things, the lead time is typically about 6 to 8 months. So we got to get in front of it. Other items we have to tackle is some of the master plans, the tax sharing agreement. In addition, we're still in competition for the ACE train, so we have to lobby for the train so that we can have it land here in town. Other items is that, we're looking at continuing to expand the downtown beautification, further out. And there's other items. So, but we want, of course, the public to partake, and so that's why we're scheduling a special workshop where we'll have a visioning and goal-setting workshop. That way everybody can participate and give us some direction. So with that, I have no other items to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose, City Manager. Council, Jose, Councilmember Jose Moran, any questions for City Manager? Comments?
No questions.
Councilmember Kang, any questions, comments for our City Manager?
No, no more questions.
Councilmember Soto, any questions, comments? Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
A negative.
As for myself, I really appreciate you guys working on that workshop. That's something that obviously I had expressed the need for, and so I appreciate you guys working on that. I think it'll be very important to have the input from the community. So however we figure it out, to have participation and input, let's try to get as many people involved as possible. In regards to the council, hopefully everybody's able to attend and voice, priorities and what we need to address for the next couple of years, and obviously get stuff done and work together along with our community. So I appreciate it, Jose, you guys working on that and your staff. Let's move along to city council members' announcements and reports. Councilmember Osamaran.
Yes, thank you. I do have something that I want to say. Well, first of all, I hope that everyone has some happy holidays, and I want to wish everyone a happy new year. In addition to that, I want to say thank you to the residents of the city of Livingston who entrusted me to be one of their representatives on the city council, and that I will require their continued support throughout this next 4 years to make sure that we make the best informed decisions for the benefit of the entire city. Secondly, I want to congratulate Councilmember Soto on her successful re-election. I'm looking forward to the collaboration with each and everyone in this council. We don't always have to agree, as long as we make decisions based on the benefit of our constituents. I'm looking forward to great discussions and conversations on the dais. I will have questions, and I will be looking forward to guidance and words of wisdom from those of you with more experience. Lastly, I want to reiterate to all of the community members that I will always have and will continue to be accessible. Please feel free to contact me via email, call, text, or social media. My goal is to continue advocating for equity and accountability. Thank you for this opportunity to serve our community. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Samaran's excellent, letter there that you voiced out to the community. Councilmember Kang.
Yeah, I really got nothing to report. I just want to wish everybody a happy New Year's this year.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Soto, anything, announcements, reports?
Thank you for that, Councilmember Moran. Congratulations to you as well. I look forward to working together with the community and staff and among all us. So Happy New Year. Also, just an announcement, in addition to all the guidelines that we have coming into the new year that have been asked of us, mandated, I also want to encourage everyone to look outside of what's currently being said, of how better health care for yourself. Again, be diligent, do your research. There are many resources out there in regards to your health. And again, bumping up your immunity system. You got to take your vitamins. We have to stay healthy. There are other ways. Looking at what we're doing. Our children are being very sedentary. They're sitting at home. Many of us are. And I just want to reach out to you. Again, there are resources within our community, within our county, Merced County Health Department, behavioral health. If you need resources, again, city staff has those available. So again, exercising, eating well, taking your vitamins, we can all be healthy and keep an eye out on your children and one another. That's how we bring our community together. That's how we stay together and we keep each other healthy, okay? So this is where I put my veterans hat on behalf of the VFW. On the screen, we have Anthony Chiveria up there holding up our newest sign. And I just want to reach out to our community and let you know that If you have a son or daughter, parents out there, and you want to honor them as a currently serving member in the service, and they are a graduate of Livingston High School, please reach out to the Livingston VFW or me, and we can work with you to get a military banner in our downtown Court Plaza out here, and right along here, our Civic Plaza is the area that I'm currently working on. I am looking for 6 more so that we complete this area right here, this Civic Plaza area. So again, I am very honored, and this is how the VFW plays their part in this whole encouragement and movement for Americanism. So again, if you have a currently serving member, reserves too, and they are a graduate of Livingston High School, please reach out to me or a member of the VFW. The second item on this PowerPoint has to do with what I also help coordinate is the Miss Independent Scholarship program, and we've been doing it for the past 10 years. This item here, we advocate as auxiliary members for any issues in regards to our local veterans. Any fundraising that we do, I know I've mentioned it throughout this entire year about takeout dinners. All the funds go to veterans and veterans' families, just in case you were wondering. We had a craft event, and the Miss Independent Scholarship Program did enter into this. What we have over here on the, right here, is our Buddy Poppy program, and those honor those that served, sacrificed, and have died. So we do a lot for our Buddy Poppies and our girls right here. This is your Miss Independent Scholarship Court, and I'm very proud of these girls. They are out there in the community, just so that you know that if you do have events and you'd like them to be present, they do represent our VFW. We have here, this is Lauren Francis. She has been with me for 4 years. She's currently the Miss Veteran Independence 2020. Janet V. Baptista, currently Miss Independence. Madeline Moreno, who is Miss Independence Teen Council, and Isabella Rea, she is our Junior Miss Independence. So again, I'm very proud of these young ladies. They provide a great deal of community service to Livingston and within their civic clubs on their campuses at Livingston High School and Livingston Middle School. So I just wanted to share that with you. So thank you.
Anything else, Councilmember Soto? No? Thank you for that, and I appreciate you working on the banners and reaching out to our community so we could have more displayed out there. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Supporting veterans and current military members, really appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. In regards to myself, which is the next item, Mayor's announcement and reports, I just want to also congratulate Councilmember Jose Moran and Councilmember Soto for their winning their election and being in the council. I know we're going to work together and collaborate, and I know our hearts and our minds are here for the best interests of our community. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys and staff the next 2 years. I also want to say thank you to all the staff and our residents that reached out to me during the month of December. As you guys probably tell, I'm still kind of lose my breath at times. I was very ill during the month of December, so I appreciate especially all the council members reaching out, giving me calls, and willing to help out. So very, very thankful. And one thing I did want to I talked to our attorney about is during on our agenda in the future having a section at the end of the agenda where if there's items that need to be discussed in the future, any council member wants to bring something back for discussion, or we were given that opportunity. So maybe new items for discussion at the end. If you guys could please add that on the agenda, and that will just gives another opportunity for be more transparent and have the ability to bring stuff to out here to the public for discussion. So it gives another avenue for that. So I'll be appreciative of that if we could add it in the future. And that's it for me. Happy New Year to everybody, and I'm glad to see some people here in our meeting today. Let's move on to our next item, which is public hearings, and it's item number 4. So there's a continued public hearing, resolution approving site plan and design review of 2020-04 for the construction of a duplex at 1835 F Street, Livingston, California. Francisco Barbosa, APN number 024-184-014. Who has this item? Randy?
Well, let me add to the comments that have been made about have a pleasant new year, and we're, oh, it's too low, thank you. Very good. Just wanted to express my wish for everyone that can have a good year, and we can be healthy and productive. To that end, productivity, I wanted to bring to you the request for a new duplex on B Street that has gone before the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission took a look at it, and at their meeting of in November, their November meeting, they passed it along to you for consideration, and they recommended approval. If we can have the first slide, and I can go through exactly what this request for a duplex is. Thank you. The site is located on F Street, and it's 1835. It's a relatively large lot, and it has a single-family home in it right now. The dark brown shading indicates zoning, and the zoning here is high-density residential. That's its general plan designation as well. And having a duplex on the same lot that there is a single-family home brings the unit count to 3 for that lot, and that brings it into compliance with the general plan and the zoning. So this is a positive thing. And it is surrounded by other uses that are in a like manner. They're duplexes, multifamily, there's single-family homes scattered in there. And right next to this use on the, and I can show you with my handy-dandy little laser pointer, we've got a non-conforming store right here. And that can remain in its existing condition indefinitely. It can't expand. And if it's destroyed by fire or other disaster, it cannot rebuild, but it can continue to operate. And the request, we'll go on to the next slide, and I can get more details on it. Thank you. This is where the existing, the street, F Street right here. The existing home is indicated in the cross-hatched marks. what is being proposed. If you've gone out to the site, there is some 2x4 framing that is located there right now. It's not part of this project. It was perhaps part of another project that stopped midway. But this is the location of the duplex, and they are two mirror image duplexes. You can kind of see this is the front door facing east for one of them, front door facing west for the other, and they are identical, and they are, I have in your staff report, there is the size that is located for them. It's 527 square feet. So it is smaller, but each contains 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, kitchen, and a living dining area. And as you can see on this site, parking spaces are located kind of at right angles to the site of the building itself. On F Street is proposed a driveway that will come in and provide turnaround movements for parking, and then they can back out and exit the site. So a large portion of this central area is used for vehicle movements. There is a small amount of landscaping that is being proposed at the south of the building. There are 2, again, similar landscaped areas. There's no turf or grass that is proposed, but it's drought-tolerant ground covers and trees and shrubs consistent with our drought-tolerant landscaping guidelines. If I could ask Monica for the next slide. This is the elevation. As you can see, it is single story, as I had mentioned, and it's a stucco construction, and the colors are it's kind of a medium gray color will be the body of the unit itself, and the trim along is in a beige color, and then there will be composition shingles on the roof. This, as I mentioned, this item went before the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission asked a few generalized questions on this proposal. It does comply with all of the city's zoning standards, height, lot coverage, etc. I did refer this out to a variety of other agencies and departments for comment. The Public Works Department had a list of conditions. It looks long, but it's pretty much typical standard conditions. And so the developer and their representative had no objections. The fire department also had some typical standard fire conditions. And so those are added and included in the proposed resolution should you decide to approve this. There was no opposition that appeared before the Planning Commission. There was no opposition that came in to city staff. I know of no questions that came from the public or any concerns. So with that, the Planning Commission unanimously approved it and forwarded it to you at the City Council for consideration with the recommendation to adopt. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to address them.
Thank you, Randy. Bring it to council for any questions or discussion. Council member Jose Moran, any questions? Is the applicant here today,
Yes,
present?
if you can go back to, I think it's 2 slides back.
Okay. The site plan? Or
One
this
more. Well,
This is the vicinity map.
this one here.
Okay, so I think that's the site plan, the third slide. The next one. Yes, this one?
I think so. Yes, in that area right there where you're pointing at right now.
Yes.
And then the other area above, to the right of, up.
There?
On the other side of the,
This?
right there. Those 2 areas, are they going to be, is there, or maybe I missed it, are they going to be paved or are they just going to stay dirt?
This is the area that vehicles come in and maneuver and get to the parking area. So yes, this will be paved. This area right here is presently in a kind of a not heavily landscaped area, and there was no proposal for intensive landscaping. It would remain as it is now, which is kind of, in the environmental world, it's called rural landscape, which is basically landscaping that is kind of volunteer in the area, and it's seasonal grasses and shrubs.
Or, okay, so maybe this would be a question for the builder. Is there an idea on what to do in the future? Is there any plans? Or just to leave it like just regular open landscape? I'm just curious.
George Rodriguez, the designer. Probably grass. They're probably going to leave it with the grass.
Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. So the applicant is here present, correct? Do you want to mention any comments or say any words? Do you want to comment in or say anything regarding the project, sir? He's just giving you the opportunity if you want to say anything.
No, what I was doing, I just, like I said, there was a storage there, and I was trying to fix the problem, the issue with Livingston. What they needed to do was the apartment, so I kind of designed a different thing from the storage to a design, a duplex.
Thank you. Councilmember King, any questions or comments?
Nope.
Councilmember Soto, any questions? Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Negative.
In regards to myself and this project, well, obviously I think there's as we know, a great need for housing. There's a shortage in our county and our city, so I think it's every time there's projects in regards to housing, it's a good opportunity. And obviously, the Planning Commission has looked at it and asked questions, and the different departments have, obviously looked into the different issues or designs. And now I'm going to open it up to the public. Anybody on the line have any comments or questions? I don't hear any. How about here presently? Anybody in the public have any questions regarding this item or comments? No? Okay. So let's bring it back to council. Any further discussion, questions, or any motions regarding this item, council?
No questions, but I do motion to approve the item as stated. If no more questions or comments.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jose Moran. Do we have a second?
Mayor, if I may interrupt, this is Trevor. Sorry.
Go ahead, Trevor.
It cut out. I just want to make sure that we close the public hearing.
Okay, so we're closing the public hearing.
Thank you.
Okay, now we could go ahead. Go ahead. Make the motion, Jose.
I do a motion to approve the item as presented.
Now, we have a motion by Councilmember Jose Moran. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Now, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, second. We get a roll call?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you. Now we're moving on to our citizen comments. This section of the agenda allows members of the public to address the City Council on any item not otherwise on the agenda. Members of the public, when recognized by the mayor, should come forward to the lectern and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes. In accordance with state open meeting laws, no action will be taken by the City Council this evening. For items which are on the agenda this evening, members of the public will be provided an opportunity to address the council as each item is brought up for discussion. Do we have any citizen comments? Go ahead, sir. You want to state your name, please, for the record?
My name is JT Man. This is Aftar Man and Kush Beer Man. They're allowing me their time. So that'll be a total of 9 minutes. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and
I won't need that much time.
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
No, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I'm here today. First off, congratulations to you as well, and Ms. Soto as well. Congrats.
Thank you, sir.
I'm here today to shed some light on an issue I'm having with one of our council members, Gangadeep Kang. On November 3rd, Mr. Kang made threatening and slanderous comments about my family. While at a social gathering on election night, he said, and I won't quote because we might have kids listening in online, F Major, who is my father, FJT, that's me, and if he can't put a kid in his wife, then I will, as he made lewd, sexual, hip-thrusting gestures. The next day, Mr. Kang further went on to say, I will not pay child support either, when asked via text message if he remembered the comments he made the night prior. This statement to me shows he has no remorse for his remarks. As a citizen of this city, I hold public servants and its employees accountable to adhere to a code of ethics which supports ethical behavior of its members and officers. Mr. Kang should be held accountable for his shameful actions towards my family and I. The day after I found out, I met with and made a formal complaint with Chief Soria. Chief Soria took my complaint to the city manager. To this day, this matter has not been resolved. My reason for speaking here is to make everyone aware of Mr. Kang's character. If it can happen to me and my family, then it can happen to anyone. My father was once supportive of Mr. Kang when he first entered the political arena. He spoke about doing good and steering the city in the right direction. As his true intentions slowly emerged, my father backed off and rescinded his support, and now this is how Mr. Kang responds. Regardless of what the law says, Mr. Kang made a sexual threat to an innocent woman. I am now escalating my troubles to this council. What if it was you on the receiving end of Mr. Kang's threats and comments? How would this council have handled it if it were, in fact, one of you in my place? I imagine justly and swiftly. Then why am I any different? In the last 2 months, I have now started to involve myself and peek behind this curtain that conceals City Hall and this council, and I'm disgusted by what I see. I believe there was an investigation on Mr. Kang regarding a different matter. What were the findings of that investigation, and why was it not made public? A couple of months ago, we started to get some trouble from local law enforcement about a trailer that was parked on our driveway. It had gotten a warning on my property, and when we moved it back to where it sat on my parents' driveway for the last 10 years, we got a ticket. The trailer's nose hung over a few inches onto the sidewalk. Recently, one of Mr. Kang's family members reached out to my family. He said they, meaning Mr. Kang and Officer Kang, boast about the fact that they had our trailer ticketed and ultimately moved. He added that they got rid of the previous chief, and yes, he said what he said, and he'd say it again. This is what his family member told us. Not only are they abusing power the city has given them, they are now targeting individuals that do not support them or their interests. If we do not condemn these actions, then we condone them. When I first made my complaint, I was looking for a formal apology, but I am beyond that now after learning all the things I have discovered. In my opinion, Mr. Kang puts his own interest before those citizens which he represents. I learned that he strongly advocated for a new sidewalk in front of his house, which will only benefit him, while taxpayers foot the bill. He's told business owners and investors that he can advocate for their cause or interest in return for financial gains. One such conversation, including that permits can be expedited for a housing project if lots would be donated to him and his brother, Officer Kang. I'm unfamiliar with politics and how City Hall operates, but I would imagine this is not how. I'm tired of waiting for a response, so I'm here today seeking a resolution. Please open your eyes to the lawlessness that is taking place around you. I am told that the Kangs walk around and bully city employees with arrogance and condescension, threatening that they can remove anyone that gets in their way. As colleagues, you all need to hold each other accountable. I can go to the DA, grand jury, attorney general, FPPC, but no, I'm here. I can also call upon my fellow citizens for a recall on anyone on this council that does not put the city's interests first. If Mr. Kang was here in person, babe, can you raise your hand? I would have him look at my wife. This is the person you were threatening. She has nothing to do with your political agenda or gains. A grown man should not have to be reminded to respect women. I want you all to look at Mayor Aguilar now. Once again, congratulations. You know me personally, sir. You know how much I advocate and serve this community through the Merced Emergency Department. Do you believe my wife and I deserve this? Then please do something about it. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you for your comments. What I could say is, the city takes these accusations seriously. I'll have our city manager definitely follow up on this complaint and report back to our council, keep us informed. As you know, this is citizen comments, and council won't take action tonight. Obviously you are aware of procedures and everything else, but I just want to say that we do take, we're all listening to you, and agree in a lot of the comments you're saying, regards to, we need to look out for our city and be respectful and all of that. And I'll definitely take your complaints and accusations seriously as a city and as elected officials here.
This is a small sample of my family. We have a huge family.
Yes.
And being contributing members of society and valued members of society, we don't deserve this. No. She doesn't deserve this. So with that said, I'll take my leave, but I would like to give this to you, and you can pass it to whom you may.
Yes,
this
please.
Is the letter I sent to you.
And in regards to your character, you're right. I do know you personally, and you're, absolutely outstanding gentleman, and we have a lot of respect for you and your family. So I just want to voice that, express that. Okay, sir?
Time, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I, just in general, in regards to you and the public and your family, it's important. I appreciate you guys coming up and communicating with us, and it's, open door policy for the whole community. Anybody has any complaints or see things a certain way, we're here to hear you out, and if we're able to take action or address it in whatever way possible, we're gonna do that. And we take everything seriously here, and I just want to, make sure that you guys will hear back from us. Okay.
Thanks again for your time.
Any other citizen comments? Anybody out there? You guys want to say anything? Any comments? Okay, we'll move along. Oh, you don't want to say anything? No? No? You're good? Okay. We'll move along now to our consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote unless separate action is requested by the city manager or the city council or a city council member. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless members of the city council or city manager request that specific items be removed. And the item on the consent agenda is 5, approval of warrant register dated December 28th of 2020. Council?
I move to approve.
Motion by Council Member Jose Moran. We got a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Soto. Roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Moving along to discussion of potential action items. Item number six, council authorized the reclassification of a vacant administrative analyst position to accountant one. And we have our finance director, manager, executive, Vanessa.
Good evening, Vanessa Portillo, Finance Director. We have the item to recommend to Council the authorization to reclassify the administrative analyst position currently vacant in our Finance Department into an accountant position. A little bit of background on this item. In November of 2020, our Finance Department experienced a vacancy of its administrative analyst position. And when vacancies come about, it's a good time for our department and everybody in our team to assess and evaluate what we need as far as resources, and that's what we conducted. And we concluded that the position that best fits the department today is a position in the accountant classification. Once we concluded that this would be the position that best fits the department and what we need as far as the projects, the tasks that will fit for that position, we also conducted an analysis on the salaries and what would be the comparison between the current vacancy of the administrative analyst and the accountant position. It turns out that we are presenting this item to council with a savings. Overall, it's about $2,000 a year. So we would like for council to consider our request and our recommendation that we would like to reclassify the vacant administrative analyst position into an accountant position.
Thank you for the presentation. We'll bring it back to council for questions, discussions, or comments. Councilmember Jose Moran, do you have any comments or questions, sir? None at this moment. Thank you. Councilmember Kang, any questions or comments?
No, negative.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Soto, any questions or comments?
I have a few.
Yes.
Maybe two.
Go ahead.
I just want to know what the biggest job responsibility that distinguishes both of the positions. What could the administrative analyst do that an account one cannot?
Sure. Back in the day when the administrative analyst position was created and brought into the finance department, I believe the thought of this position, it was that it was going to be a support position for the human resources department. It was going to pick up some of the administrative items that were just lingering, and it would just be a hub for many different departments to kind of provide tasks for this position. The reality is that when we brought in the administrative analyst position or a person to occupy this position, it wasn't really, it didn't really happen, or it didn't really pan out as planned. It became a heavily technical position in which our finance department, the demands of our department requires high analysis, reporting, tracking, and a lot of, not just the analytical piece, but a lot of technical piece of reconciliations and auditing of different contracts and purchase orders, and it just became very technical at that point. And I feel that our department will be better served with an accountant position, since the accountant position will be able to provide that level of technical expertise, rather than the administrative analyst, where they could provide analysis, but not necessarily say, this is a debit and a credit.
Yeah, but doesn't know all the accounting principles.
Correct.
Who is currently an accountant one?
We don't have an accountant one at the moment. So at some point, I believe there was an accountant position, that therefore we do have a step and we do have a job description for it, but as our city shrunk, we had to eliminate it, and then we brought in the administrative analyst, and now I'm requesting that we have this level of expertise in our team again.
So currently without, pardon me, but I don't really know, how long have we been without the analysts?
Yeah.
Our
Let me jump in real quick. So just going back a little bit, what has happened is we had a retirement in our public works department, and one of our administrative analysts, senior administrative analysts, retired. So that created a little bit of a musical chairs. So we had internal people apply for the position. And so what happened is the administrative analyst that we had here at City Hall got the job over at Public Works, and so she left and went over there. And then that triggered some further musical chairs in the Public Works, where one of the other employees moved up to the senior analyst and then left this position vacant. So after this position, which has been vacant for a few months, in having internal discussions with all the staff and looking at the needs, said, you know what, an administrative analyst is not where the best use of resources and man and woman power for what we actually need. So in doing the analysis, we need somebody that knows all of the accounting principles, because staff had to spend a lot of time with the administrative analyst in teaching that person all the different accounting principles and the reports and so forth. So then the conclusion was, well, we really need an accountant, somebody that knows all the accounting principles more than we do an administrative analyst that can help out in different departments. So there's a savings, and so we're eliminating, if council's takes our recommendation, would be eliminating an administrative analyst position and opening up a accounting one position.
Thank you, Jose. Any other questions, further questions, Council Member Soto? Mayor Garcia?
Yes, can you explain to the council how it's a savings of $2,000 a month?
Yes, the administrative analyst position, they are part of a different bargaining unit than the accountant position. So, so the savings are realized through the benefits since the bargaining unit from the administrative analyst receives a higher percentage or a higher contribution for some health benefits, and in the accountant position, it's in a different bargaining unit.
Okay, so it's not monies, it's benefits.
I'm sorry?
Or salary?
It still comes down to money because we contribute towards that.
Correct.
Okay, so how many steps does accountant one have?
We have 5 steps.
5 steps?
Yes.
So what's the top step at?
That would be E.
And what's the price, or what's the salary on that, do you know?
I don't have that with me.
It's 5,391.
Okay.
Okay, and the analysis, their top step is F, correct?
Correct.
And it's 4,968. So in the end, it's probably going to cost us more, correct?
Not at the moment. At the moment, the clerical unit receives more of a city funded benefit for the medical, for the health benefits. So we're paying for this position more than what we would pay for an accountant position.
So in the end, we're still saving money
In the end, we're saving about $2,000.
2,000
Yes,
per year, or?
per year.
So as a jump from step to step, we're saving $2,000 every time?
That is, well, what we are doing is we're doing a comparison at the highest step of an accountant and the highest step of a administrative analyst. So worst case scenario, our most savings, it's $2,000.
And of course, that can change depending on union negotiations and what is bargained at the time.
For me at this time, I think we need to bring this back, and so council could probably, not sure we could talk about in closed session about this to get more in detail, or have a roundtable discussion, I should say, no? Do we need to do this like today, or can this wait?
Just real quick in regards to closed session, Trevor, I don't think this would qualify for a closed session item. Are you there?
It wouldn't be correct. It wouldn't qualify for a closed section. So if council wanted to have further discussion on it, it would need to be during an open session.
Thank you, Trevor.
So can we just bring this back?
In regards to me, I just want to get clarification. What would be the reason to bring it back? Is there what questions do we have, or what do we need to be for it to be clarified, just so we could know for sure what's the reasoning?
I think we need to bring back to look at the benefits on both sides from the starting to the end and see, as of today, what it looks like on paper.
So you want further information, so just further information in regards to what the different bargaining units, like how much the city pays for one
yes.
one position and the other position?
Yes.
And so and just so you make sure that we're on the same page, what's the urgency of hiring the position? Obviously, probably sooner than later. Are you guys able to wait one more council meeting for that? What do you guys think, staff? Just to get some
Well,
information.
in terms of, we want to make sure that, that council feels comfortable and has all the information before them. So we're more than happy to provide additional information, and we'll give you actual comparison, sheet by sheet comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So an extra council meeting is not going to, break us, and gives you an opportunity to look at the numbers a little further.
And just for myself, I think obviously the recommendation is probably still going to be the same. You guys obviously want to reclassify this. I do want to interested in what the other council members are, wanting to do as well. I know Mayor Protem wants to move it to the next council meeting. Council Member Jose Moran, what are your thoughts? You want to move it? You think you have enough information? You're okay with having more clarification and waiting one more council meeting?
I think the only question that I had was the same one, but it was already answered. Yes, additional information would definitely, support it, but at this point, I don't see the need, but, I will consider one or the other option.
Council Member King?
Yes, I don't mind it going next week, so we could have a little bit more information.
Thank you. Councilmember Soto?
Yeah, I believe just a little bit more information might be beneficial to us, because I'm looking at it, and correct me if I'm wrong, what I heard was that you've been training people internally already to divvy up the tasks
No.
among others? No? Okay.
No, I need to hire someone with expertise on financial and accounting background. I mean, we train everyone in our department to be able to cross-train and function and serve in any capacity, but the expertise that I need from this position, it's a little bit more in-depth than what we are currently doing.
And then with the reclassification, we would not bring an analyst back?
No.
No.
Okay.
But there's no need for an analyst right now. There's a need for an accountant. In regards, Mayor Pro Tem, you want to move it? And in regards to me, it's. I mean, if it's one more council meeting, it's fine. Get more additional information, just to get some clarification, and everybody feels comfortable with it. I know that there's a need, and I know, sometimes in certain positions, cross-training is not the same as like, expertise. Everybody has their own field, and it's like cross-training whatever, a surgeon to do, you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes you just need somebody that's been trained and that's their experience and that's what their field is to do the job. And if there's the need for it, and do we have the money in the budget to be able to afford this, correct?
Currently, we have budgeted for a administrative analyst position,
Okay.
which we would be swapping to an accountant position with some savings at the end.
So ultimately, this has already been included in our budget.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's another. That's kind of my concern, was that if we were proving an extra position and we're already obviously concerned or being conservative. But that's good to know that it's already included in our budget, and basically we're swapping positions and we're saving, a little bit on that. So, yeah, we could bring it back with that additional information if you could, include it in our packets and get that clarification. But ultimately, just in general, I'm supportive of this, and I know there's a need for it, and obviously considering your guys' recommendation. So let's bring it back.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you guys for doing the extra step for us, just so we can be more comfortable voting on this item.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, communicating, talking, expressing with each other, and so I appreciate, we come to a consensus and work together. Let's move on to item number 7, which is the resolution awarding a contract to Hart Paving and Grading, Inc., Incorporated for street repairs on I Street between 1st and 2nd Street.
Good evening again, Council. Council, a little bit of background on the staff report you have before you. On November 18th, we had a pretty bad water leak on I Street between 1st and 2nd, which compromised a large portion of the street. Staff was able to make the repair and backfill and barricade, but we will need the assistance of a certified contractor to make the additional repairs on the street. Staff did obtain 3 quotes from 3 different contractors, with Hart Paving and Grading being the lowest quote. So with that said, staff is recommending that staff recommends completing the street repairs using Hart Paving and Grading, which provided the lowest cost for the work.
Thank you, sir. Bring it back to council for discussion and questions. Councilmember Jose Moran, any comments, questions?
Yes, I do have a comment and a question. So I did notice when I was reading the report that there was only one report or quote on the packet.
Yes.
For future reference, at least for myself. I would like to see, all copies of all the proposals. I did send an email, and you did send me, and I really appreciate the other copies. And the question is, and I don't know who can answer this, in the proposal from Hart, there is, and this is also for my knowledge so that I know, where's a compaction test, which is paid by the customer. What's the cost of that? And is that normal for the customer to pay for it?
It's cheaper for the customer to do it because they're just going to charge overhead on it. So we have direct connections with the compaction companies. We deal with them quite often. So it's cheaper for us just to work directly with them. And it is a very low cost. We're talking maybe $100 and $200 for a test.
Thank you.
And we would only need one.
Okay,
one
perfect.
compaction test.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any more questions, Jose? You're done? You're good? Okay. Councilmember Kang, any questions, comments, discussion?
Nope.
Councilmember Soto, any questions, comments?
You answered it. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, questions, comments?
Negative.
In regards to myself, I agree with Councilmember Jose Moran. I think of the past, we've gone away from it, from including the different proposals. It's, I think in the past we used to do it, then we stopped doing it, and I would appreciate seeing all of them just so we could have a better understanding or see the different, proposals. Sometimes there's additional information and we can make a better decision on that. Obviously, we all, in this time, we obviously want to make sure that, we're being considerate of our cost savings and all of that. Just a quick question regarding this company. Have we worked with this company before? Are they local?
They're out of Merced. They are
Merced.
local.
Okay.
They're well-known as well.
Okay.
I haven't worked with them directly, but they are a reputable company.
They are? Okay, perfect. That's really good to know. And this is coming from Measure V funds, correct?
That's correct. And we've paid 100% out of the Measure V fund.
Okay, perfect. All right, council, I'm going to open up to the public now. Any comments from the up via phone? Anybody? I don't hear any. Here in the public present, any comments from the public? Sir? No? You good? Thank you. We'll bring it back to council. Any further questions or any action?
If there are no further questions, I move to approve resolution awarding a contract to Hart Paving and Grading, Inc. for street repairs on I Street between 1st and 2nd Street.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jose Moran. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
A second by Councilmember Kang.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you. Now we'll move along to item number 8, which is a city council to provide staff direction for appointment for the planning commission. We have Randy coming up.
Well, with the change of the year, 3 of the existing planning commissioners' term expires. That of Planning Commission Chair Robert Wallace, Planning Commissioner Ranjit Judy, and alternate Commissioner Jason Roth. So their terms normally expire. They'll continue to serve until a reappointment is made, whether them or somebody else. So we're not missing members and slowing down the work of the Planning Commission. Now, all 3 of these members have, in my opinion, served with distinction. They have been reliable. They show up at meetings. They're prepared and they contribute. All of them would like to continue to serve on the commission. Jason Roth is an alternate, and he's stepped up to fill vacancies frequently, but he would like the opportunity to be a regularly appointed planning commissioner should that possibility occur. But it is entirely up to the city council how you wish to fill this vacancy. I did provide a little bit of history on all of these three members when they were appointed, and the pattern has been that they have first been appointed as an alternate, and then when a position opened up, they were appointed as a regular member. You don't have to do that. That is a pattern that the city has done in prior councils, but it's entirely up to you. And so, so you can reappoint, and then we're done. Or you can direct staff to advertise for citizens who are interested. If you do that, we would recommend to advertise for 45 days so that we could get applicants. Then the applications would be forwarded to the council members. You could either have a committee or a subcommittee, or the committee as a whole review the applications. You can have them come to a public meeting, and you can have interviews here. A lot of options. So staff doesn't want to impose its thoughts on you because this is in your realm. So I open it up and ask, what do you folks want to do?
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. Let's have a discussion and let's see what we recommend as a group or what we want to do, what our wishes are. So I'll go around the table here and just start with Council Member Jose Moran. What are your thoughts about this item?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of questions, maybe this question also for Randy. In previous, or is there something that we have in place when this happens and every term or their term comes up? Do we have something already in place, or can we consider something to put in place to not have you wait to come to City Council to be able to start advertising and look to see if there are any other residents that would be interested in positions like this? Because their term expire on the 31st, but then we have to wait until council meeting, and then whatever the council decides to be able to move forward. Is there anything in place?
Short answer is no. There is not a procedure in place to direct staff when this happens to automatically advertise for interested parties or what have you. We've had in the past, city councils have reappointed, has been a very common occurrence. And so prior councils did not establish a policy. You're free to do so, but it's, that's why we bring it back to you.
Okay. And just an observation, I know all the three current commissioners, and I think they all have done a great job. But personally, just my personal thought, I would like to consider council to recommend to still open it to see if there are any other residents looking to basically volunteer and maybe even consider having, I don't know, I don't know how many we have right now, but maybe if there is a high demand, maybe consider having additional commissioners be part of the commission as well. So other than that, that's it at this time.
Just for informational purposes, only at the last time this occurred, the council at that time, because of the interest and the quality of the interested parties, they decided to have two alternate commissioners instead of before there was only one. So it is fluid, and you can, you know, and simply by opening up at advertising doesn't mean you have to not reappoint one or more of the existing. It just opens possibilities, gives you options.
So, if I may, I see 7 commissioners on the list and 2 alternates at this time.
That's the full list is attached.
Yes. So, oh no, wait. The other one is liaison. So I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commissioners and 2 alternates. So that's a total of, but then the alternates only get a chance to vote. They need to alternate, and only one of them votes every other time, right?
That's why in the alternate list, there's 1 and 2. They take turns serving when there's only one absence.
Okay. Is it established, or, I mean, you're the expert, I'm just asking for informational purposes, to add any, like, full commissioners to the commission? Instead of having 6, to have 8, plus the 1 alternate?
There, perhaps this wasn't clear, but there's 5 regular commissioners. And then there's 2 alternates. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yes.
I believe that's correct. There's 5. The board or the committee is 5 members, voting members, and the 2 alternates. We added that additional alternate, I believe, last year, a couple of years ago.
So if that is 5 plus 1, that makes it 6. So that's an even number.
Well, the alternate only serves if one of the regular members is absent for whatever reason.
Yeah, so if one of the 5 are,
So there will
one of
still
them
be
is
5.
missing, then the alternate will step in. If there's 2 missing, the 2 alternates will step in.
But the commission has allowed the alternates to participate in the discussion,
Okay.
but they do not vote unless a regular member is absent.
Would it be normal to consider, instead of having 5 regular commissioners, to have 7?
Other cities do.
Okay.
So it's up to the decision. I believe that in the municipal code, it is listed there as 5 commissioners with alternates. Now, the number of alternates is not specified, but you, of course, can change and adjust the municipal code to have 7 regular members or 9 regular members. The larger cities tend to have bigger planning commissioners, but it's a executive decision for the executive officials.
Okay. And also, maybe this is going to be the last question. Is there a set of, I guess, quote-unquote, rules for commissioners to go by to where they're only, I guess, allowed to miss so many meetings?
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
what is that?
There is there's rules and procedures. Some of it is, again, in the municipal code, and other parts of it have been adopted by the commission. But in terms of absences, there is I believe there are 3 unexcused absences that are allowed, and it specifies exactly what is an excused absence.
Okay.
It's typically illness for the member or a close family member of the commissioner.
Okay.
Those are the excused absence. Going away on vacation is not excused. Having a work assignment elsewhere, that is not excused.
Okay.
And so that's why there are 3 absences allowed
Per year?
per year.
Which starts December to January,
Yeah,
or?
it's calendar year.
Calendar year, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kang, any questions, comments?
No, I got no questions or comments.
Councilmember Soto, any comments, questions?
At this time, I'd really like to see that we take advantage of the opportunity of appointing Mr. Roth as an alternative that he's served various years and has been very adamant about wanting to be a regular member on the commission. So personally, I feel that we need to appoint him there and put the other two positions out to a application process. That's where I'm standing with this.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and
Yes, and I
suggestions?
also agree with Councilmember Soto on her comment just now, so.
Okay, thank you. For myself, I think it's something to explore what Mr. Jose Moran was saying about the makeup of the board. If that's something in the future that the council would like to bring up for discussion, and obviously that would have to take a change in the code, city code, and all of that. But that's something to, Jose Moran, Councilman Moran, if you want to bring that in the future for discussion or consideration for the council, obviously that's something we could definitely do. In regards to giving you direction of how to appoint the planning commissioners, just to touch base on real quick on that there's no actual policy in place is because I've noticed or seen that obviously every council does things a little differently. They have different ideas. If you set a policy in place, next council is going to remove it or change it, and it's going to go back and forth, and it's almost like it defeats the purpose of having a policy. So I think that's why it's been left kind of every time that you come to the council and get direction. I believe it'll be a good opportunity. It's always good to see different applicants. I would say open it to the public, and also just give the opportunity to somebody that wants to serve and see who wants to serve our community. I think it's important that we open it to the public and not just kind of reappoint, although obviously they've done a great job and possibly they will get reappointed, but it's just to be fair to the community, just give that opportunity and open it to the public. I know they'll continue to serve even after their term's up, but obviously there's some urgency there to open it to public, get the applications, have whatever procedure we want to do, either bring them in, ask them questions, or a committee of interviews, or however we want to do it. So there is some urgency there, but that would be my opinion, to bring it or open it to the public. So just it seems like I think the majority of us would like to have it open to the public, I believe, and I know there's you guys already have somebody in mind to appoint. However, this is more of how we want to. There's more direction how we want to appoint, or what the process is going to be to appoint those people. So either open it to the public or directly appoint somebody. So I think to be safe or fair, it seems like the majority of us will agree to opening it up to the public, and then at that time, obviously, you guys can make your decision and appoint who you guys want, or make that suggestion.
So to be clear, were we asked to, we have the opportunity to appoint someone and put other positions out?
Yes.
So again, I stand with what I said before.
You can do a hybrid. You could, as you suggested, council member, you could appoint, in your example, you could appoint Jason, Mr. Roth, and then as a regular member, and then go out for another regular member and an alternate member. Totally possible.
Again, that would be my suggestion. For us, I would like to appoint Mr. Roth to a regular position on the Planning Commission, and then put the other two positions out to the application process, because I know that there are there's interest out there, and I want to give that opportunity to have new and fresh faces on our Planning Commission. But again, I wholeheartedly believe in Mr. Roth.
And in regards to, so you had to make a motion in regards to that, correct? In regards to appointment, and just to clarify, you want to appoint somebody today and open the other two for the public, right?
That is
And
correct.
have we asked the members or the three members if they're interested in coming back, or?
As I noted in the report, they're all interested in continuing to serve.
Okay, sounds good.
So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to appoint alternate Jason Roth to a regular commission position on the Planning Commission, and then have the other two, a regular and an alternate, put out there for the application process.
I just got one thing.
So, Mayor, sorry, this is Trevor. If I could just
Go ahead, Trevor.
add one point of clarification that to Council Member Soto's motion is that the motion should be recommending for staff to bring back the appointment of Mr. Roth, because the item is just providing direction to staff.
So when I
And
questioned
that-
Mr. Hatch earlier, he had said that we could appoint someone and then put the other positions out to the public. That's what I understood.
And I think that's.
You can do
that is
that, but
correct.
the recommendation would need to be that staff bring back the actual appointment of Mr. Roth, if that's the direction and wish of the council.
Currently, Mr. Roth is an alternate. I would like to see him appointed as a regular commissioner.
Yeah, so let me bring a little clarification. So what you want, Councilmember Soto? No problem. This is just direction, so it's not an action item to actually appoint tonight. So next meeting, you can make a motion and it'll be on the agenda and we'll go from there.
And that's kind of what I was asking or suggesting, because the item says provide direction, not take action.
Yeah, we
But,
could write the agenda in that way.
Okay, so you can make your suggestion, but we have to bring it back as an action item to appoint and open the other two to the public, correct?
I defer to the city attorney on that.
Trevor,
And
correct?
So it's pretty clear that he refreshed my memory that it is important to have it on the agenda for any action to be final. And so, yeah, we only have direction on the agenda, not an actual appointment.
Okay, so now, Trevor could probably help us out with this. So Councilmember Soto and Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, that's kind of their suggestion, but I know there's other of us that we just want to open the three to the public in general, just to be fair. Is that another option that could be either, for us to discuss either option, and then we could, vote on it and vote what we want, Trevor?
That's correct, Mayor. So both options or a third option, whichever option the majority of the council wishes to pursue, would be the direction given to staff to bring back at the next council meeting.
Okay, so, that would be my suggestion, or at least two of us, and then just to be fair, we'll discuss both options, and then we'll go from there on our next meeting. So did you get a good direction, or at least somewhat, Randy?
I think we need a vote for that direction.
You have to make a motion for the direction?
I think we should, Mayor, because
Okay.
it's unclear to me what direction is given to
So
staff.
does somebody want to make a
The-
Thank you, Trevor. Does somebody want to make a motion on the options for action items for our next meeting?
Can
It's
I
clear
make-
to me.
Okay, so now that we're all thoroughly confused with what is happening here, I still say, as a practice that the commission has done, as council has done in the past, according to your report, that we have taken an alternate and have appointed them to the regular position on the Planning Commission. So at this time, I would like to appoint someone, Mr. Jason Roth, coming from an alternate into a regular position, and then put the other two positions that are vacant to the public.
We can bring that back as an agenda item.
Perfect.
if someone wants to second, and then we have a vote.
I'll second it to bring it back.
Just quick discussion or questions. That's obviously two of you guys wanting that, but there's an alternate group wanting something else. So what I had said, or Trevor clarified that we could have that option and then the option of opening all three up to the public, and we could discuss which option we want in our next meeting as an action item. So we could include
If I may?
that as well. Go ahead, Jose.
Could there be two things? One, consider that option for the agenda item to appoint someone, and staff still needs direction right now to open it up for the rest of the positions. Otherwise, they're going to come back. We're going to wait until next meeting, and then until then, they're going to open it up for other. So there are two different items that need to be addressed.
Okay, so clearly, we already have, I made a motion, we have a second, we need to vote on it.
That's right. There's a motion on the table.
Go ahead and do roll call, Monica.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
I abstain.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Aguilar?
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 4, 1 abstain.
All right, so did you get direction there, Randy?
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Okay, let's move along to item number 9. Action and direction regarding conducting council meetings physically closed to the public due to COVID-19 and pursuant to Governor's Executive Order N2920.
So I guess I'll start this off. I think Merced County is still in the purple tier with all the COVID. It's on a rise. I just feel that we, as council members, need to look out for what's best for the public and the city of Livingston. So that's why I'm bringing this back, to have the meetings closed to the public until we move out of the purple tier or whatnot.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, and appreciate you bringing this item for discussion, as it's very important. And it's important that we discuss things like this for the safety of our community and our staff here and ourselves. So let's start a discussion or questions or comments. Councilmember Moran, anything to add to this or suggest?
I would like to hear what the other council members have to say, and then if you can come back to me, please. Thank you.
Councilmember Kang, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I agree with the Mayor Pro Tem. I honestly think as long as we're in purple, we should close it down for the public before it gets any worse.
Councilmember Soto?
My view on this is, again, we serve our community, and this is the way that we do this, is we have our chambers open. We are practicing our protocols. We've asked our town to follow the same reminders of everything that we've been practicing for the past 11 months now. So I believe if our adult and can make decisions on their own based on wanting to keep themselves safe, that they can do it. So if they want to come to the chambers, our doors should remain open. Again, we are practicing our protocols, and everybody's looking out for their safety. And again, safety is a priority here for everyone. We want to protect our town, but we also don't want to mislead them to say that they can go to the markets, they can go everywhere else except here where they need to be heard.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes, with this new system that we have going on, is it capable of Zoom?
Yes.
Blue Jean or something like that?
Yes, we are waiting for a few items that, back order and stuff, but we do have the capability of having Zoom, and so it's all interfaced. And so you'll have an opportunity, just like either with the laptop or an iPad, et cetera, or a monitor, and we'll be able to do the Zoom. One of the major upgrades here is that we have, better quality cameras. There's zones for visual and audio. So, and then each port that you see here has internet. And then as people call in, it does the microphone systems. So anywhere you can speak, anywhere in the room, people can hear you. And so, yes, so to answer your question, we will have Zoom capability.
Thank you.
In regards to myself, I understand the need or give the public the opportunity to be in here and hear them out and have them participate in the meeting. So you guys could see, our participation or attendance is has been poor, and not a lot of public come in here. Where my concern is that I've dealt with this firsthand and see how bad things could be in regards to COVID and being sick and family being sick. So for my thoughts are, why even risk? If we have the system set in place where the technology allows for that kind of participation through technology, through Zoom, phone call, or whatever the case may be. They're given the opportunity to participate in that way, in that manner. So why risk our staff that are, essential to the function of our city, and why risk us getting sick or our public getting sick? So obviously with the numbers going up, and it's a serious thing, and it's if we could save one life or save somebody from getting really ill, then I would rather do that and give, if there was no way of them communicating or no technology to afford the participation of the public, then I would say, yeah, obviously open it up or move it to somewhere where there's more space, more area, but there is technology, and we obviously invested in a new system, and there's new things coming our way that obviously Jose said there's back order, there'll be monitors. I really believe we should move to the Zoom meetings, and that's a way of people participating. And then, like I've said before, we could always address it. We could always come back and talk about this. Right now, the numbers are very high. The vaccine came out. We could always address it next month. We could go meeting by meeting or every month, see if we could come back or open it back up. But that's where my thoughts are, just from my firsthand experience. I don't want anybody sick. Why risk if we could prevent somebody getting sick? I'd rather do that. So that's where I stand. I know, Jose, you want us to come back. So what are your thoughts?
Thank you. Personally, and I'm very high on safety, and definitely I do value people's lives, and as I have lost 3 family members, 2 of them within the last under 3 weeks. So I do, personally, I do take this very seriously, not only for others, but for myself as well and my family and those of you here. But I do believe that it is very important it is quite different to be listening at home. And yes, I do understand that we have upgraded our system, and which is great, and I welcome that opportunity for others to participate that way. But I think that we should be able to considering all the safety protocols that we have in place here and to still leave it open. And we have, probably room for about 10 visitors, stakeholders, to be able to be here and share their opinion. And that's what we're here for, to be able to listen to them. Although they can still have the opportunity, like Ms. Soto said, to stay home and participate via phone call. And I think it is very important. And not everybody is able to do, quote unquote, distance learning, because I see that experience every day with my students. And so, although, we need to keep safety in mind, but I do believe that we can still consider at least having it open for a maximum of 10 visitors plus, 5 or 6 staff members that need to be here as an option. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. I have thought about it just in the past about people that don't have access to internet or anything like that. So I did want to ask their city manager, is there an alternate site where we could set up maybe a phone or a monitor where if people can't access or want to participate and they're not allowed to be here, maybe they could go. Maybe that's something we could work on or discuss.
Yeah, the answer is yes. We can certainly, we have the conference room over at City Hall that we can set up, and again, have the social bubble only, meaning we will only be able to have a limited amount of people, and it would typically be people from the same social bubble.
Thank you.
But something like that will still need and require additional personnel, And one thing that I do, and I appreciate what you guys did earlier here, when we had people leave, staff assisted to clean the surfaces, the chairs that were used to make sure that they stayed cleaned for others to be able to use them. And I do want to make sure that we continue having that the support of staff or with direction. But if we do that at the conference room, that additional staff needs to be over there supporting those people there.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, that's something we could look at, and if there's a need or somebody expresses that they don't have access to internet or so that's always at least we have the capacity to accommodate somebody. In regards to the council meetings, like I said, I think most of us already expressed our thoughts. Once again, I would rather play it safe and not risk it, at least for the next month, and then we could always revisit as long as there's the ability for people to participate. So those are my thoughts. Anybody want to make a motion or have further discussion points, or I want to say anything else? Absolutely.
Let's see if you open to the public.
Go ahead, Maria. Go ahead.
All right. So again, I want to reiterate what I've been saying is that we are practicing our safety protocols. So when I hear you say we want to play it safe, we are playing it safe. We have what we need to do in place. We've asked that of our city and our businesses and our residents to be safe. And so if having our council chamber doors open with our protocols, safety protocols in place, I don't really see what is preventing us for keeping them open when we can limit the amount of people that are here and, again, do the disinfecting as they come in and exit. So playing it safe, we are doing that. And our doors are open.
I think there's always a risk, even if doing that. I mean, people touch this door, everybody coming in, there's still some risk. And that's I appreciate your opinion, and that, everybody has their own opinion. And now I'm going to open it up to the public. Anybody out there have any comments in regards to this item? People on the phone? I don't hear any. Here, present, any comments, Diego? Go ahead. Please identify yourself, sir.
Diego Castillo, P.O. Box 855. I see the point of view of all the council, and I think my opinion in the past has been, I've tried the calling in at home, and with the previous system, with the new system we haven't. I think, again, if we're not set up to Zoom, not everybody is used to using Zoom, and I think if you look at, this is a pretty accurate picture of most of the interaction with the city, for the people that want to come in live. It's usually, a handful of us. So I think the ones of us that do come, I don't think it's in a manner that we're not able to social distance and do the same thing we're already doing as essential workers or people out there. So. And my question is, if you do decide to leave it closed, how do we give you feedback if we're trying to reach you guys in a meeting? Like today, I'll give you one example. We had one council member brought up an item, and he wasn't able to vote because we couldn't hear him. So if we're on the other side and we're trying to get, our concerns or express our opinions, how do we get that across to you guys if there's something that needs to be voted on or an opinion if we can't, if we can't get through? Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. Those are all valid points. So I appreciate your feedback. So let's bring it back to council and.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Comment. Thank you. I think this is very important, and I do appreciate the conversation. And if council is not willing to consider at least having it open to 10 visitors, would council be able to consider it to leave it open to 5? Because, I've been attending meetings for years, and most of the time, I don't believe there's more than 5 attendees, which I hope in the future, that is my personal goal, to really have people get involved and be here. But, considering the situation at this moment, I think even having 5 will be quote unquote fair, and obviously, maintaining all of our safety protocols. And once again, I'm very pro-safety. I think those of you that know me and have seen me out, and I'm always advocating for safety. And I see that every day, and I do that every day. So I would ask council to consider that option as well. Thank you.
I just want to make one more point. In regards to tonight, our public comment, I don't believe I would have been more in tune or personally impacted by the statement that we had from JT Ron. Having the courage and his wife and family to come out and communicate that to the public, again, was very courageous on his part. And I don't think we would have been more in tune with him had he been on the phone, seeing what he had to express and how he delivered it in person was very impactful. So giving those opportunities to our public, because many aren't comfortable on the phone or Zoom. We're not even, well, we could be, but we're not for Zoom. But again, in person, conversations, comments that need to really appeal to us can only be stated like that if they're here and present. And again, a handful of people come here, and I'm glad for all of those that are listening in and take the time to view us. You can always go back and look on things, but to be part of the conversation, if you want to be here, I think we need to afford you the opportunity, because we work on behalf of our residents and in the city.
Thank you, Councilmember. All great valid points from Councilmember Moran and Councilmember Soto. And of course, this is an excellent discussion, and for the sake of compromise and working together, obviously, I know that there's not a lot of participation. However, earlier there was a lot of people in here. I'll be willing to limit the people, or be okay with limiting the people that come in here, because you're right, it is important. And like you said, today's public comment was obviously, I think it needed to be presented in person. I'll be willing to compromise and have a limit amount of people here as long as we are all very, very safe and then sanitizing everything, and then also limiting the staff people here, because obviously we want to protect our staff, and if, Jose, that's something that probably could work with in regards to alternating who's here and who's not here, and to protect our staff and even council too. Like I know a couple of council members or a few of us have participated via phone, so that's something that we continue doing. But I mean, in spirits of compromising and working together, I mean, I would be fine with just limiting the people come in, and as long as we're super safe. And I am coming from a position of experiencing this firsthand with my family and myself. So, it kind of, my perspective's a little different. It could be a little different, and not to take anything away from you guys. I know, they're all valid points. So that's what I'm coming from. Like I just want to make sure nobody goes through what I've gone through, and that's where I'm coming from. But I'm in spirits of compromise. That'll be fine. As long as like we did today, sanitize behind people and making sure our doors are sanitized, and maybe I know some places don't allow access to the bathrooms, and maybe that's something we could do. I've seen that in a lot of places, even public places, that the bathrooms are closed. So, I mean, that's probably something we should consider doing if we are allowing people in here. So, anybody want to make motion or any other further comment?
Like to make the motion to limit it, we'll say 10, which includes the staff. And like the mayor said, probably once in a while, you can alternate on who's going to come in, who's not, and over the telephone. And then, I would like to see like the city manager bring a report, since we'll call it like the task force that you're on, the COVID-19, correct, sir? Yes. And just to give us an update, probably in his presentation. So.
Excellent. Thank you for that motion by Mayor.
Just to be clear, I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
know there's a motion, but when you say open it up, limit it to 10, including staff, that only...
Just us.
Well, like I said, the city manager could deal with his staff, and maybe they could do one meeting a month or whatnot, just like he does in his staff in his office, 1 week off, 1 week on. So,
If I may comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I may ask Councilmember Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, to consider and make it more specific and more clear, to consider having at least 7 to 8 members of the public be present, and then staff members would be up to city manager to be able to decide and accommodate who needs to be here and who can be on the phone. I think that would be a better or more concrete direction.
And then the council, as council wishes, and participate in person or via phone. You're good with that motion? Do you want to make it a motion?
What is the motion?
I guess what you suggested.
To make it to 7 visitors, and then city manager to decide what staff can be here. I'll go ahead and second that.
All right, so we have a motion, and
I'll second it.
And we have a second. Roll call.
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
Councilmember Moran?
Yes.
Councilmember King?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Summer? Sorry. Mayor Aguilar? Sorry.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you, Monica.
She's not going to be here next week.
Sorry, Monica. We're trading you to a different city. So just real quick, thank you, Council, for that discussion and compromising and definitely very productive. Let's move on to item number 10, discussion on possibly changing the start time of the regular scheduled council meeting. Who wants to take on this?
Go ahead. I brought this up due to it getting later here in the winter time and moving the hours 1 hour forward, 1 hour back when the time changes. That's what I'm recommending. However, we could always revisit this as needed.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Let's have a discussion about this. We'll go down to Councilmember Jose.
Thank you, Mayor. On this particular item, I'm comfortable keeping it at the same time that we currently have our meetings. I do believe that this has been set in place for so many years, and not only the people that attend, but also people that, because if we make it a little bit earlier, then it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for people that actually are barely getting home. And so that means that, if I'm hearing this correctly, that the open meetings should start at 6. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then also that means that closed session needs to start at 5, which will kind of make it, at least for me, make it a little bit more difficult due to other responsibilities. So at this moment, I would appreciate if the time would stay the same and not change.
Yeah, and on that part, we could probably, we'll probably get more into it, but since we're just discussing this as possibility, when we come in earlier, probably put the closed session at the end.
Thank you. Councilmember Kang, any comments, discussions? Councilmember Kang, you still there? Okay, let's move on to Councilmember Soto.
And in looking at this, we've been practicing our times as they currently are. Moving it forward to 5 o'clock, it does sound a bit off for some of us that have daytime jobs and many of the public to get a rush on that if we're coming from different directions. So again, I'm comfortable with it as it is. But again, this is a discussion among us.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, anything else? Okay. For myself, initially thought might be a good idea or something to consider. After further thinking about it, I had the same thoughts about when it came to the public. And even for myself, we all have, some of us have day jobs, and sometimes we're rushing to get here. It's hard to get here at the time, and so making it earlier will make it more difficult. And then, to think about the public, and then obviously there's a working community, and a lot of people commute, and they're, getting home around 6, or, have to eat dinner, and then if they want to participate and engage in the council meeting, I think it'll be best to just leave it at the current time. Just to consider everybody, our citizens, and then us that have jobs during the day. So I would also say that we should just leave it. I think maybe in the future we can consider bringing it back and see how things are. But that's my comment or my suggestion.
Thank you, guys.
And then we'll just open that up to the public. This is another item. Anybody from the telephone wanting to comment? I don't hear anything. Anybody presently? Senor Diego? No? Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's bring it back, and then, so I guess we're not changing anything, and we're just leaving it, correct? So thank you for that discussion. Let's move along. Discussion of possibly using the Masonic Hall site for affordable veteran housing. Who has this item?
Dear Mayor and Council, this is an item that was brought forward, and of course, Randy, our planner, will talk about it.
Thank you, Randy.
Make some opening statements. Here in town, we do not have currently any veteran housing, so there's we have some local investors, local participants, one who's here, Mr. Castillo, who has brought up the possibility of converting a site and use that as a possible veteran housing. So I'll allow Randy to go ahead and take on the item.
Thank you. I just want to give some background as to the idea of reusing the Masonic Hall as a site for affordable veterans housing is a wonderful idea. I think it's really positive. There are a couple of problems with it, though. One is the general plan and the zoning for that site are low-density residential. You can still put affordable veterans housing in a low-density residential, but boosting up the density, that takes it to about somewhere around 8 units to the acre. And it's hard to do affordable housing at that kind of a density, that relatively low density. Having our high density general plan and high density R3 zoning goes up to 29 units. And with affordable housing, you can get a 25% bump on that. You can also get a 25% bump at the 8.7, but it's just harder to pencil out that way. But that's a technical issue. You have the opportunities, a couple of potential options. The Masonic Hall, the VFW building, and right across the street, I think it's a dental office. Those are all non-conforming uses. None of them fit in a R1 zoning single-family residential general plan. And so the downside is that means you can't bring in something else that doesn't fit the general plan and zoning. You know, that's a technical. You can change the general plan. You can change the zoning on that. There's a process to do that. There's another possibility, and in some of the cities that I've worked in, they've had what's called a special use permit. That was able to, it goes through the Planning Commission and the City Council. It's not a by right situation. It has to go to public hearings and full noticing where particular beneficial uses are allowed, irrespective of the general plan and zoning. But that would take a code amendment to put that procedure in place. Can be done. Just it's no more difficult or easy than a general plan change and a rezoning. So those are your options. I think we could make a, you know, there is a case that you have to be careful that you're not doing what's termed spot zoning, which the state doesn't allow. The state planning and zoning laws don't allow spot zoning. But I think we can get around that by defining what it is, and it's on the edge of the city. There is a history of non-residential use there, and it's adjacent to the high school and the transportation school bus yard right across the street. So there are substantial non-residential uses in that area that I think would go a long way for justifying a general plan change and a rezoning. That would be my recommendation, is we go that route rather than a code amendment to do something called a special use permit. But those are how I've seen other cities deal with things like this. Those are options. I'm a technician. I can do lots of stuff if you give me the direction.
Yeah. So Randy, as it relates to the, I mean, we started the general plan process, and so towards the back end of this year.
We can definitely incorporate it as part of the general plan so that the general plan amendment and rezoning would be a function of the general plan, and the general plan would allow that. That takes some time to go through that process. That's the downside to that. But then it doesn't impose additional costs on the city or the applicant. And I don't want to put any additional costs on the proponent of veterans housing. I mean, the whole idea is we don't want to increase the costs and make it more difficult. So going through the general plan process, it would be an ideal way. But we're talking maybe a year and a half, maybe longer. Then we don't have to do environmental if we go through the general plan, because the environmental for the general plan will cover it, and that's a positive thing.
Thank you.
Now, our overall goal, Randy, is to have our general plan update completed by the end of this year. So you anticipate a few more steps which would push it forward another few months?
I'm trying to be realistic. I have never seen a general plan update hit its time frame. I just never have. And because of all the delays we've suffered from the COVID situation, we haven't lost a lot of time, but we have lost some time. And we haven't had the public engagement through the fall like we had planned and hoped to do. And so we'll have to pick that up. Now, it's possible. We've got a great consultant team, and it's possible that we can go faster. So it may not be a year and a half. It may be a year from now, but nothing less than a year.
This is Diego Castillo, P.O. Box 855. So this wouldn't be a high-density project. We actually wanted to keep the existing footprint the way it is, so we wouldn't be adding any additional square footage. We would just repurpose the existing building. And we're thinking it's still preliminary. We're bringing a team of experts that specialize in VA housing, but we're thinking option one would be maybe 6 to 7 individual one-bedroom units, or we would do an open kitchen, living area with maybe 10 to 12 individual suites within the existing perimeter. We've done similar projects like this within the county where we repurpose an existing building, and we've done it with the conditional use permit. I don't know if that would be an option for this project.
If it's okay to address the questions raised. Great ideas. That type of density, I think, would fall within the existing envelope from the general plan and rezoning. Yes, it would require a use permit, but that's a far, far easier process than a general plan change and a rezoning. So we would still have to go through environmental and so forth, but those are not insurmountable problems. So if we're talking of a smaller size, more modest in size, we probably don't need to do a general plan change and rezoning. And so then it's a question of working with the applicants is how we can put the financing together. I mean, I stand fully committed to the assistance of the planning department to pull off housing. I am a strong, strong believer in affordable housing in communities. And so, I can work with Diego and we could work something together. But, you know, you're the direction. Yes. Yeah, so I'm not asking you to make any commitments other than saying, go investigate and bring it back when you have something further.
Thank you, Randy. Let's move Jose. Councilmember Jose, go ahead.
Thank you. Definitely, affordable housing in Livingston, it's in very high need, especially if this is directed towards veterans to support them. I think that we need to look at, whatever avenue available to us to make this happen as soon as possible. And I think it's a great project, and we should have more projects like this available and coming to our city, not only for our veterans, but for the rest of the community. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Jose, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to share with the rest of the council and the public that a very healthy community is one of those communities that has, housing in every category. And so, when I talk about every category, we're talking veteran housing, memory care facilities, senior housing, multifamily housing, live-work housing, mixed use. And so, that's part of our overall portfolio that we've been working on here. And so this just adds to that. So, absolutely.
Thank you, Jose. Councilmember King, anything to add, comments?
Yes, I agree with Mr. Diego. I think you do need housing for veterans. My thing is, how long of a process is this? Is this going to be something that he could do 1 year, 6 months, or 10 years from now on? Does he have a time limit?
He's here. He's going to respond to your question.
Diego Garcia again. Our goal would be to get this off the ground from when we get approval, 3 to 6 months start working on the building. So we're on a side project, just so you know. In my opinion, the reason we have a housing issue throughout California, throughout the nation, it has to do with the restrictions and the red tape that it takes to get developments done. So let's say realistically, obviously this is very, I would think realistically, if we did a conditional use permit and with other jurisdictions, we've done projects like this where we got an approval in 6 months, and that's fast. And then from there, it would probably take us another 4 to 6 months to complete the project. So assuming we had we started tomorrow, we could have it done within a year.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember King, any further questions?
No, that'd be it.
Councilmember Soto, questions, comments?
Just a comment. Thank you very much, Mr. Castillo, for reaching out and seeking this opportunity for our veterans. It's a great idea, a great opportunity for Livingston. I think your location is highly ideal, being that it's right across from the Veterans Hall. So thank you very much for supporting and looking for different ways to find growth in our town. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Also, I would like to say thank you for the veteran support, military. And I would say for you to go out there and do what you need to and bring it back to us so we could get started on a project like this as soon as possible.
Thank you. For myself, definitely, obviously, there's a need of housing, and especially veteran housing, and it's a great, it seems like an excellent opportunity. And I would definitely support a project like this, and let's go ahead and move forward and do some homework or just research on how we can make this a possibility. Let's do it. I'm going to open up to the public. Any public comment? Anybody on the phone? I don't hear anything. present. I know, Diego, you made a few comments. Anything else to add? Diego, you're good? Okay, excellent. So let's bring it back to council. So it seems like our consensus is to go out there and bring it back to council with, after some research and see how we can make this happen. Do we have to make a motion on this? I believe so. It's just a discussion, correct? Okay. All right, thank you guys. Good discussion. Last item number 12, discussion and appointment of a City of Livingston resident to the Measure V Citizens Oversight Committee.
So this is a pretty straightforward item, Mayor. As you know, as part of the Measure V passage, the public, in terms of transparency and being able to partake and have somebody to oversee the funding, the allocations to different cities, to the county, and also the projects. And so Mrs. Catherine Shell Rodriguez was part of this. And so we're looking for the discussion and appointment of anybody that you might have in mind that might want to be on the Measure V Citizens Oversight Committee.
Thank you, Jose. For discussion for council, or anybody have any suggestions or anything, Councilmember Jose Moran?
Has this been advertised at all and sent out to the community to see if we have any volunteers or?
No, so at this point, we're just asking for council direction, what you want us to do. And so if you want us to advertise this or you have somebody in mind, then of course we'll bring this back to you and you guys can appoint. So if the direction is to advertise, we'll do that.
I think that we can do both. I mean, advertising, and if we have somebody else in mind, then bring him over. And but at least advertising, we'll be able to open that up to more people.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Kang, any suggestions or comments regarding this item?
Yeah, I agree with Jose Juarez. I think we should open it up to the public just to see if we have anybody that's interested in it.
Perfect. Thank you. Councilmember Soto?
Again, educating our public and giving them the opportunity to see if they are interested in participating in the committee. So
thank you.
I say open it up.
Yeah, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
I agree with everyone.
Perfect. And myself definitely agree. It should be advertised, open to the public, and if there's somebody that have any suggestions or want to appoint in somebody, just bring it back. One last thing regarding our new section. If does anybody from the council want to bring anything for discussion in our next meeting? Any items you want to bring? Anybody?
The only thing that I will just that I have on the list that was talked about this evening and are as follows. The Parks and Recreation item will be back on the next agenda. Changing the city ordinance for possible changing of the ordinance for the Planning Commission and advertisement. The veteran housing and the Measure V. Of course, if because of the advertisement and stuff, it won't come at the next meeting, but it'll be in a future meeting.
Exactly. Yep. Perfect. Sounds good. I think that's all items that need to come back. But any additional besides that?
If I may, when available.
The finance item.
Yeah, the finance one, automatic. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. For next. Yeah. Go ahead, Jose.
Thank you. Something that I would like the council to consider is something that has been of great importance, thinking ahead. Like we have our public comment after announcements and reports and so on. And so if we had the opportunity to move public comment a little bit earlier in the agenda to allow that same opportunity for residents to still participate and be here without having to spend, an hour to 2 hours to wait for public comment, I think that would be a benefit to the community and we would have more participation. So just considering moving public comment a little bit earlier in the agenda.
Absolutely. We have that discussion for our next meeting or future meeting regarding that suggestion. Absolutely. I think that's it. I don't have anything to add for our next agenda. So we're adjourning at 10:34 p.m.